Hey everybody, how you doing? Good morning. It's Uncle Bruce here. It's today's date is April the 21st, 2022. Welcome to my live broadcast. What is happening in the stock markets in plain English? That's what we try to do here. We try to cover what's going on worldwide and how it'll affect us. Trying to watch all kinds of developments in the market. And those of you who are into options trading, specifically option writing, you are home. This is where you should be. We're talking about bringing in money from the markets, and right now, being an option writer, you couldn't have asked for a better scenario. The markets are absolutely perfectly setting up for you to make yourself some really nice cash here, because we're not going very much higher than this. We are up this morning. Yes. We've had a couple of good days on the market. Yes. But is this going to continue? I don't think so. We're up right now, but later today, our friend, the head of the Federal Reserve, is going to have a chat. And boy, this guy is a party killer every time he talks. Do not expect the chairman of the Federal Reserve to make this market go stupid crazy higher. That is not going to happen. This guy has got bad news, because he's looking at stuff that that very few analysts want to talk about, but he's going to talk about it, and he has to. It's his job. Yeah, we're up 231 on the Dow right now. Great. We gained 200 something yesterday. Wasn't that wonderful? We had a $500 point gain on, I guess, what was it, Tuesday? We went up yesterday. Here we are Thursday. But I got to tell you, kids, the party might be over. We're up, like I say, 241 or 249 yesterday on the Dow, 500 the day before. So that's 750 points approximately, about 750 points. And now we're showing a 234 point gain. So this is almost 1,000 Dow points overall of gains. That's, of course, assuming that we gain 250 points today, hold it all day today, and exit tonight with a 250 gain. We would then have a 1,000 point gain in 3 days. That is a tall order. What's helping the Dow? Why is it up? By the way, S&P is up 38. Nasdaq's up 166. All three markets are higher again today. What is causing the markets to go higher? And I got to tell you, several forces are at work at the same time. Number one, Twitter is its own little universe. As we know, it's up 70 yesterday during the day. Twitter today, let me see if I can pop it up for you. Double quick check here. How is it doing this morning? There's talk, of course, that there might be other offers for this thing. There's talk that maybe Twitter can find a white knight to counteract Elon Musk. But the stock right now is down 82 cents at 45.90. We were as low as about 45.50 or 65, or a little better than that. Not a lot going on, but that continues, unabated, and we'll be following that for weeks. Tesla. I know it starts with a T. Tesla is creating the buzz this morning. No question about it. Tesla shares closed last night at $977.20. That was a down day yesterday of almost $51. Right now, the stock is up $78.77 at $1,055.97. On the surface, this looks great. It looks absolutely fantastic. It's at $1,055, up $78. Bad news, the stock is not 1,200 going to 1,400, and it's not going to. What they're not talking about in Tesla land is the Shanghai shutdown. And this is the black cloud that is coming for this stock market that everyone, not everyone, but many analysts are choosing not to report on right now. They're just ignoring it. Headlines this morning all over the place are talking about, the stock market had a pleasant surprise with regards to earnings. The markets, the markets are higher on much stronger than anticipated earnings. Earnings are creating a euphoria in the marketplace. Even the airline stocks are higher this morning. I got to tell you, kids, when analysts start talking about higher airline stock prices, run for the exits because, oh, are we done for? We are done for if we are now talking about the higher markets because airline stocks are higher. Oh my God. Airlines have got every conceivable problem coming their way with very little upside. The only up news for airlines right now is that bookings are higher because people want to travel. Well, yeah, when you've been locked up for, 2 years, you kind of want to go. The problem for the airlines is that they can't ramp up back to 2019 levels, where they were, for at least another year. It's going to take them at least a year. So many of their airplanes are parked in the desert in storage. So many of their airplanes have been, removed from existence, used for parts to keep other planes alive. U.S. airlines are the oldest fleets on the planet when it comes to how old their planes are on average. Some airlines like Alaska pride themselves on a newer fleet. Southwest keeps renewing planes, and JetBlue, they all do it. They have to revive their lines, but American Airlines, generally speaking, have the oldest airplanes for a modern fleet, period. You want to compare American airline fleets to Middle Eastern airline fleets? No comparison. I mean, Emirates with their 5-6-year-old airplanes, average age compared to American at, 14, 16, 18 years. We're talking about the U.S. fleets that have been shrunk dramatically in the last 2 years due to retirements of the planes. Airworthiness certificates can't be had anymore. They're using them for parts. They've been cutting costs. Airlines have cut and canceled and delayed deliveries of new airplanes. I mean, it's just been back for 2 years. To get back to 2019, I don't think they can do it even in a year. It might take them 3 years to get back to 2019 levels because they don't have the planes. And in 3 more years from now, another 10% of the fleet is retired because there will be 25-year-old airplanes, 23-year-old airplanes, 19-year-old airplanes. It's just not going to work. And so it's a long-term renewal. Second problem for American Airlines, all the airlines in America, staff. There is just not enough staff to go around. I mentioned this earlier today on the Trader Alert Show. The average American works between 30 and 40 years for their working careers. That's typical. So if you're a university graduate and you come out with your degrees and you're 24, 25, 26 years old and you start your working life and you work until you're 55 or 60, that's 35 years. If you're a laborer and you're coming out of high school and you're not going to college or university, you want to go right to work, you're going to start work at age 20, 19, 20, 18, something like that. You're going to work until you're 65. You're going to put in your hard 40 plus years. But generally speaking, 40 years or less is a typical working career. Well, that means that every year, 1/40th of the workforce retires. If you have a 40-year average career, every year, 1/40th, that's 2.5% of the market, of the working class, retire. They either die from a heart attack, they lose their minds, they age out, they can't work anymore, they reach a retirement like firemen at 55, get the benefits for life. Policemen want to retire, teachers retire, senior executives. I mean, and then there's self-employed who retire at 60, 65. I know others work till 70, 80. We know that. But the average is 2.5% a year retirement and phasing out of the workforce. We've had this virus for 2 years plus. That means 5% of the workforce isn't here anymore. They have left us through every reason you can imagine. On top of that, we've lost another 5 to at least 10% of the workforce on top of that number because of COVID People have to look after family right now. There's all kinds of reasons why people are not available to go back to work. The workforce is down 15%, maybe 20% lower than it was in 2019. Who has replaced these people? Who? Well, okay, the population, there's new kids growing up, college graduates the last 2 years and coming out of high school. And of course, yes, but they're not replacing the 20% we've lost. They're replacing 4 or 5% of what we've lost. We are down dramatically. This is why every business in America, practically everywhere in the United States, there's help wanted signs. Airlines are no exception. They have been laying off people, they furloughed staff, and many of these folks who got let go in 2020, that was the last straw. They'd had it with the airlines. They had noticed that in the last 10 years of their careers, when they were, like, say, they're 45 now, going back in time when they were 25 and 30, the airline business is completely turned over. There have been bankruptcies, reorganizations, labor union contracts have been canceled, cutbacks on new hirees. Scheduling has been just a nightmare. The satisfaction rate of airline employees lower and lower and lower and lower. It's no longer a glamorous profession to be in for many, many people. Pilots are upset. Flight attendants are upset. Ticket agents are upset. Baggage handler. No one's happy. And when the airlines did this massive get out, goodbye, we're shutting down, they were left hanging. They were left high and dry. And a lot of them, employees of airlines had to rely on government to get by. Well, those folks, many of those folks have said, enough's enough. I'm not going to tolerate this anymore. Screw this. I'm going to get a job doing something else. And they did. And they can. And that's the problem the airlines have now, is that ticket agents at airports, where you and I, the first contact we make is with a what we call, the ticket agent, which, they don't do tickets anymore. You know what I'm talking about. When we check in with our bags, right off the bat, we're upset. We're upset with the experience right now because we're already pissed off. We've lined up for 15 minutes to get to the front of the damn line. We have to make sure our bags aren't too heavy. We're going to get nailed fees. And, you want that job? You want to be behind that counter for what? $16 an hour? $14 an hour? They're not getting $100 an hour to stand there. They're not senior paid people. These folks don't have unbelievable benefits. The airlines are trying to put those people on the front lines who are going to get nothing but abuse and stupid shifts, dumb work hours. It's not like an 8 to 5 or a 9 to 5 job. Airlines run 24/7. Maybe between 1 and 4 in the morning, they're kind of quiet, but geez, the other 20 hours, it's ridiculous. You want to be a $14, $15 an hour person with shift work? I don't think so. These folks have found jobs at much more friendly environments with much more flexible work hours, if they even are working on site at all. A number of those folks are way overqualified for the jobs they had, and they have found work from home, and they're making $25, $30 an hour, and they're never, ever coming back. The only way they're coming back to the airport is to take a flight themselves and go on a holiday. The airlines are up against it. Flight attendants and pilots, they're all upset. This is a nightmare coming up here. Pilots are licensed to fly certain kind of airplanes. And when the airlines phase out an old version of airplanes, all these pilots have to be retrained to fly a different kind of aircraft. And they better be trained, for these pilots, they want to be trained in aircraft that the airline is just getting, so that the next 15 years, that plane is part of the fleet. They don't want to be trained on a plane that they're phasing out the next 4 years, because in 4 years, they got to do this all over again. So there's all this nightmare of the fleet turnover and everything else. Airlines are up against it like you can't believe. The next problem for the airlines, they're in debt up to here. The fact that the United States government gave handouts, socialistic handouts, to all these airlines to keep them alive, that was nice. But they also had to borrow money. A lot of these airlines borrowed billions and billions of dollars. They issued stock like you cannot believe to raise cash to handle the bleed of billions of dollars every quarter that they were blowing out the door. They were losing billions, and they're now 100 billion more in debt than they were before the whole thing started. The recovery for the airlines is as long as the road to the Wizard of Oz, never ending, with all kinds of pitfalls. Wicked Witch from the East is waiting for you, and everything else coming at you. It's a nightmare. So when stock analysts say to you, oh, the earnings surprises are phenomenal, the markets are really reacting great, airline stocks are popping, it's over. This market is now pulling at straws for good news. This is really what you don't want to hear. You want to hear that all basic companies out there, the basic retailers and distributors and manufacturers, they're the ones that are doing really well. That's what you want to hear. You want to hear that Ford and GM and Chrysler and a number of other large entities are looking for thousands of new employees. That's what you want to hear. We're not getting that. What we're going to get from the rest of the market going forward right now is the Shanghai shutdown nightmare. That is coming. It is coming. It's going to be bad, and it's going to be a long time to resolve. There are so many people out there who are misleading you folks about, oh, the shutdown it was only 3 weeks or 2 weeks in Shanghai, 3 weeks. Factories are reopening again. As if everything is fine now. Everything's okay now. Nothing is okay now. Everything is screwed up in China. From the top to the bottom, it's a nightmare of a mess. We're talking about problems in mining locations. We're talking about problems at metal alloy plants. We're talking about parts manufacturers that have got all kinds of issues. We're talking about assembly plants. We're talking about distribution centers. We're talking about the rails. We're talking about the trucks. Talking about the container ships. We're talking about food supplies that are all screwed up. We're talking about the domestic China economy that is in a real pickle right now. 450 million people in China. A third of the country was on lockdown, mandatory military police lockdown. You cannot leave your apartment. Think about that. No American can get it. No Canadian can get this in our heads. We can't comprehend being under martial law, not being allowed to leave our house. It is unthinkable here. Unthinkable. 450 million minimum are still under this lockdown. These folks are miners. These folks are janitors. These folks are truck drivers. These folks are train operators. These folks are pilots. These folks are ship operators, container ship logistics specialists, engineers, lawyers, accountants, attorneys, nurses. There's very few that have been allowed to get out. I'm sure nurses are allowed to go to the hospital, but emergency services only. Everyone else is locked in. It is the entire economy has been shut down there massively. Now, you take a third of the population and lock them up. That leaves 2/3 theoretically free to go about their business. I can tell you that the rest of the country is in a complete dysfunction because a third of the economy is shut right down, and the other two are trying to do business with that third because it's an integrated system over there, all controlled by the goons in Beijing. It's all screwed up. And that's domestically. Now let's talk about you in the stock market here in the United States, Canada, Europe, whoever's watching me around the world. We are dependent on profits from the markets to keep the stock markets rolling right along. Corporations in the Western world, the G20, the top 5,000 corporations in the G20 are likely all doing business directly or indirectly through partners with China. And they're all screwed up. And Tesla is at the tip of the iceberg. So is Apple. And so is everybody else underneath these guys. Any item made in China, we got problems. And this logistical nightmare we're into right now is not going to end for months. Months. It's going to take months. You want to make one of these? Want to make one of these for Apple? There are components to this. This isn't just one thing. You break this apart and disassemble it, there's like 20, 30 parts in this thing. Uh, this material right here, the rubber, this thing, this comes from a factory. The components to make this material come from somewhere. Then it is made into this. Then it is attached to this thing, which is made somewhere else by somebody else from a different material entirely. Inside this thing, we have all kinds of little gizmos and parts and what have you. I can't describe them to you, but they're not made in one factory. These parts are made all over the place in China and then brought into an assembly point. This thing right here, good Lord, you know how complicated this thing is? You have any idea if you try to take one of these apart, how many parts there are? What the computer I'm talking about, I'm talking on, or my big ass iPad over here, or the printer back there, or go on and on and on and on and on. We're talking about millions of parts from thousands and thousands of factories, all shut down. They're all shut down because they're all dysfunctional right now. They're all not getting what they need to do what they do, to get to where it has to go, to get made into whatever it's going to get made into, to then be packaged and to be shipped around the world for consumers. We have got a problem, and it's not being discussed anywhere. And this is going to create an economic nightmare for all kinds of corporations. And our friend at the Federal Reserve is going to continue to say stuff like, due to supply chain restrictions, inflation runs rampant. And that brings me back to my friend at the Fed, because this party is about to end later this afternoon. We keep hearing about inflation pressures have to be suppressed. And one way to do that is to raise interest rates to create a bit of a damper effect so that we don't have higher inflation. I have news for you. You and I and everyone else in the Western world are not responsible for the inflation that is happening right now to our economy. We didn't create inflation. We didn't go out there and try to buy 5 cars at a time. We didn't go out there to try to buy 3 houses at a time each. We didn't go out there to try to buy 4 televisions. We didn't go out there on exotic vacations and were prepared to pay whatever the price was. It wasn't us that created any kind of inflation issue whatsoever. We were locked up. We were stuck in our houses. We were not allowed to go downtown to the office towers anymore. We couldn't go out to movies and restaurants in certain areas. We were under lockdown. The Western world, the G20 countries, we're consumers. We didn't create inflation. What has created inflation? The restrictions from COVID has created inflation. We talked about this a year ago. This is a year and a half old, this discussion. Just that the modern day politicians that are getting ready for the midterms in the US and politicians everywhere else in the world running their little elections, they want to blame each other for inflation right now. It's laughable. It's absolutely laughable. There are people in North America thinking that Biden and Trudeau, the 2 leaders of Canada and the US, are responsible personally for inflation. I mean, stupid. What are you, president? It can raise prices on you? What are you talking about? No, the inflation factor is coming from the reigniting of a shutdown world economy. And guys like Elon Musk, who are being hailed as heroes by Wall Street right now with all the profits that Elon is making, he's being viewed as a savior to the economic welfare of the free market. The bottom line is that Elon Musk has been telling his suppliers, I need parts for my cars because I am back ordered for the Model 3, the Model Y, like you cannot believe. I can't even get my Model S and Model X new refresh vehicles on the assembly line because I can't get the parts I need for these things. And so he is paying cash, paying double the price, 50% more, 80% more. It's irrelevant what you want to charge him for parts. He pays. He is an inflation instigator. And whoever is the seller selling parts to Elon, and it's not one factory, there's many. These guys are sitting here going, well, what am I going to do? Am I going to sell parts for my cars or whatever parts I make in this factory to all of my distributors for the same price that I've been selling them for years and years and years? Or am I going to take Elon's offer and I tell him that in order for me to make parts for you, I got to charge you 25% more because I have to stop production in this and that to just make parts for you. And Elon goes, here's the money. Give me the parts. And what am I going to do as a businessman? I'm going to follow the money. I'm going to do what Elon wants me to do. I'm going to do that with Apple. I'm going to do that for Samsung. I'm going to do that for anyone else that calls me. And there are calls coming in because Elon runs a publicly traded company. Doesn't run a private company. Every 13 weeks, he comes to the market with a report card, how he's doing. Apple comes to the market with a report card. Google, Microsoft, Amazon, they all come to the market. They have to keep showing positive results no matter what the economic situation is. And so these firms are paying a higher price for merchandise because they have the pricing power to pass it on. And with a Tesla Model 3, you check out what the Model 3 was retailing for 2 years ago versus what a Model 3 is retailing for today, and you're going, whoa, there's no 8% inflation rate here. There's like a 20% inflation rate here. It's unbelievable how much more expensive these units are. But he gets it because he's back ordered. Ford can't do that. Ford can't charge you 30% more for a truck because they just don't have that kind of pricing power. GM makes the same truck. Chrysler makes the same truck with the Ram. A pickup truck is a pickup truck is a pickup truck in its basic format. It's the same thing. Toyota, Nissan, they all make trucks. It's just a brand loyalty thing and the style and whatever. Yeah, sure. But it comes down to it's got 4 wheels. It's got a transmission. It's got a bed in the back. It's got an extended cab. It's got options, an engine. It's a truck. Electric truck, electric vehicle, Tesla, that's a whole different ballgame because Tesla's all by itself. So they're raising their prices. We're paying, and there's the inflation issue. And the suppliers in China, Indonesia, Vietnam, Hong Kong, South Korea, Japan, shipping companies are being called saying, you got to get these containers. I need 5,000 containers delivered to Long Beach. I need it over in Portland. I need it over in the Port of Miami. The ships are going, well, in order for me to not ship the 5,000 containers that I had under contract or I was negotiating with these guys to give you the 5,000 slots on this ship, I got to charge you 10% more. I mean, you got to make it worth my while. Oh, well, then we'll more than make it worth your while. And up go the shipping costs and up goes inflation again. The Fed is trying to kill that inflation. They can't control that inflation. It is not USA homemade inflation. It is exports coming in or imports coming into the US inflation. That's what it actually is. It's not people in Kansas City deciding, I want double the pay for me to go to work. They would love to get double the pay to go to work, but they can't get that kind of money. We're fighting tooth and nail out there. People left, right, and center are fighting tooth and nail to get 5 and 10% raises from the 2 years ago numbers that we were talking about, which still is maybe 4% a year, 3% a year more on an 8% inflation rate that's going on right now. We're still losing. The Fed is conveniently saying, oh, labor pressures and higher labor costs are leading to inflation in the United States. Yeah, you can say that, but they're reacting to what was done overseas first. That's where it's come from. It's this logistical restart that is a complete nightmare. It's not going to end. You can raise rates to 20% right now. You can raise interest rates all you want. The problem now with higher interest rates, you're adding to the inflation rate because now you're making it more expensive for people to be in business in the first place, which means now businesses have higher costs for shipping to bring product in, for parts to be brought in, and now the dollars to borrow to produce the products they produce. Those costs have gone up. That's inflation all over the place, including labor costs, higher electricity, higher natural gas fees, higher oil and gas fees for their personal vehicles and their delivery systems. Everything is rising everywhere, and the Fed is powerless to stop it. They are powerless. They are putting on the brave face. We're going to raise rates by 0.5 point every month, and that's going to temper the demand. And then, no, it's going to create a recession. It's going to create an environment where employers are going to back off hiring employees. That's going to cause a reduction in demand for everything, creating a larger pullback by others as this chain goes on, this domino effect clicks in. It's going to create other countries, all kinds of turmoil, in particular the third world, where the coups are going on nonstop, making the rest of the world more unstable. And this is not a good thing for business. You want Kenyans and Ethiopians and Sudanese people to be buying USA-made goods. That's what you want, because that's where the market is. That's where the expanding market can be. That's where the next wave of middle-class people could come from. The Myanmars, the Bangladeshs, the Pakistans, the countries with 300 million, 500 million, 600 million people. That's where the expansion is. The expansion is not in Peoria. Peoria has got Apple products. All we're doing now in North America is rolling over our old Apple products for newer Apple products. But Apple and everyone else in the world needs to expand their marketplace to where they haven't been before. And there are billions of people in the world that could become customers of good old made in America or American engineered and designed merchandise. But if we're going in for higher rates to fight this inflation war, we're going to create a recession in our area, a depression in the third world, and that's going to stunt the economy by a decade. Just saying, just plain English, telling you the way it is. Right now, the stock market in the United States is priced at perfection. You've heard this term before, you'll hear it again from time to time, but certain stocks are priced to perfection. And what I want to caution you on, and I want you to realize, is that even though Tesla hit the ball out of the ballpark last night, according to analysts, they are claiming that the Tesla numbers were absolutely fantastic. The stock is at $1,070 in the pre-market. We got 28 minutes to go before we open for trading. We're up $93 on the stock this morning in the pre-market. Fantastic. Now the bad news. The all-time high for this stock is $1,243. And we're not going to get there. I really don't think so, because I don't know if this stock can even hold $750 to $800 a month or two from now. Because in a month or two from now, we're not going to be talking about the quarter we just had that ended at the end of March. We're not going to be talking about that quarter anymore. Guess what quarter we're going to be talking about? The quarter we're in. The quarter we're in right now. This is April the 21st. This quarter ends the end of May. So we got 55 days, 50 days to go, and this quarter is over. And Tesla had its Shanghai plant shut down for a minimum of 3 weeks, and I don't think it's running at 40% capacity. I have a suspicion that the Shanghai plant is going to be reporting half the deliveries they reported in the first quarter for the second quarter. And on top of all that, the cost of parts to produce the cars in the second quarter, way higher than in the first quarter, and I don't think they raised prices high enough to offset it. This is the problem coming up in 5 weeks when we're at the end of this quarter. Now, they won't report the end of the quarter we're in 5 weeks. They'll report this quarter we're in now in 3 months from now. Every 90 days, they'll report their quarter every 13 weeks. So in 13 weeks, Tesla will report its second quarter. But between now and 5 weeks from now, and maybe even the next 2 weeks from now, the analysts out there are going to go, wait a minute. We thought it was a 3-week shutdown in Shanghai. It was supposed to be a 1-week shutdown for half the city, then a 1-week shutdown for the other half of the city, and then we were going to be back to normal. That got canceled rather quickly. It's been a complete citywide shutdown for 3 weeks, and now only 4 million of 25 million are being allowed out. That's not solving the problem. How in the world has Apple and all the other manufacturers in the Shanghai area been able to do it? All of the stores, the retail stores, are shut down. So all these American brand stores and all these high-end brand stores like Chanel and Prada, Gucci, you name them all, you know them all. There's dozens of these guys. They're all shut down. There's no retail stores. There's no shopping malls running in Shanghai. It's all shut down. I would bet you out of the 93 of 100 cities in China, they're all shut down. They're all not going to make their numbers. Fast food outlets in China are not going to make their numbers. McDonald's, KFC, Subway, Starbucks, none of them are going to make their numbers. They've all been shut down. Hasn't been talked about one iota. We haven't heard jack squat about any of this stuff. It's coming. It is going to hit us, and it's going to be unrelenting bad news day after day after day when they do talk about it. I don't know why, other than I only have one reason why analysts are not highlighting this like I'm highlighting. I'm highlighting it. The reason I'm highlighting it is because I don't work for anybody. I'm an independent guy who's 66 years old, who has no affiliation with any brokerage firm. New York doesn't pay my bills. Whereas analysts who work for Goldman Sachs or for JP Morgan or any of these other outfits, these guys have got billions, tens of billions of dollars of exposure to the China market and to the distribution market outside of China. How many billions of dollars have been raised by thousands of companies in the last 5 years who do business indirectly through China and through Europe and through North America? These bankers are into hundreds of billions, if not trillions of dollars of loans that they're not on the hook for personally, but that they have issued and convinced their clientele to buy. So the California Teachers Pension Fund, the New York State Teachers Pension Fund, the firefighters, the city employees, government pension systems across the world, all private pension funds around the world, all hedge funds, all mutual funds, they're all into a mixture of investments, which includes bonds issued and sponsored by the big investment bankers out of New York to help these multi-trillion-dollar and billion-dollar funds keep their money working for them and generating revenues. How many of these dollars are on the line and exposed to underperforming assets right now in China? The lockdown in China for the COVID is worse than the lockdown was at any time in Canada, the US, or Europe. It's worse. It's a total, complete, you cannot leave your house lockup. That didn't happen in North America. We were allowed to walk outside into our backyards. We were allowed to go to our friendly little park. We were allowed to get in a car and drive to a state park and go for a hike. We were allowed to do that. We were allowed to go to drive-ins, drive-throughs to get our Starbucks coffees. We were allowed to do a drive-through McDonald's and bring food home. Shanghai and the other 93 of the largest cities in China, you cannot leave your home. Period. Under any circumstances. You cannot go to your mother's house and help feed her tonight. She lives 2 blocks away. You cannot get out. She can't come to you. You can't go to her. Only people can go to these places to drop off bags of food. Your mother has to fend for herself. This is the lockdown I'm talking about. We didn't have that. That's happening right now. Still going on. It isn't done yet. The markets are oblivious because these analysts won't tell us that info. They don't want to know. They might know, but they don't want to pass it on, because if they do, they're jeopardizing their own firm's credibility, having issued all these bonds out there and still trying to issue more bonds as we keep on going, because bonds are a constant thing. A 7-year note that expires this week, that it matures out, has to be reissued for another 7 years. And so these bond departments in New York are making the calls to all the pension funds and mutual funds around the world to keep maturing up bonds and issuing new bonds. The California Teachers Pension Fund and all the other pension funds need to buy bonds every day of the week to replace the bonds that they have that are maturing from 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago. Every day they have bonds maturing. They've been around forever. They will be around forever. But the question is, should they be buying Chinese-backed bonds right now? That's the issue. The tip of the iceberg for China was the real estate market. We've talked about this. I've talked about this ad nauseum. I have to keep talking about it because it is the undeniable fact that icebergs in oceans don't move. Cruise ships move, and they hit icebergs if they're not careful. And in 1911, a big ship hit an iceberg, and we still talk about this damn thing all the time. China's real estate market is an absolute moving ship going through a myriad of icebergs that are just ripping it apart. And the Chinese economy is in big trouble. The growth of the Chinese economy used to be 6 to 12% a year. Every year you could count on it. 6, 8, 9% GDP growth, 10% GDP growth, millions of jobs created every 2 months, no problem. Those numbers are out the door. They're talking now maybe a 3% growth for the China market. This is massively unacceptable. This will not fly because it means that not enough jobs will be created to employ the people coming into the workforce. Even though there are people leaving the workforce in China, just like everywhere else, there are more coming into the workforce than leaving the workforce because of the younger demographic. China cannot have 5 million people a month not find jobs on top of every month after this. Because in 1 year, that's 60 million people who don't have work. 60 million people unemployed in China are not as eager to listen to the central government's edicts to tell them what to do and how to live and what to think. They're going to go, these assholes don't know what they're talking about because I can't get a job. Why should I listen to these guys? Yeah, they've got the secret police. They've got the military. They got all the power in the world to put me away into a gulag. But I'm starving, man. I'm hungry out here. I can't find work. I don't believe these guys anymore. These guys are powerless. The emperor has no clothes. China cannot have this. China must have an expanding economy. Now, of course, you know what the Chinese are going to do? They're going to blame America for all of their problems because you can't blame yourself because that would be admitting incompetence. You can't do that. So you got to blame somebody else. But at the end of the day, hunger is hunger and it's undeniable. And we got a problem over there that is going to affect our markets. And that's what I'm worried about. One more thing I'll mention. I just heard this morning something really shocking. It was about Ukraine. It was talking about the farmers, the farm country, the farming land of Ukraine. All the crops that are grown there every year. Ukraine feeds 400 million people a year. A country of 45 million people have enough food to feed themselves and feed 400 million others. That is how much Ukraine means to the world's food supply. All right. Ukraine exports its food, all that grain, this bulk stuff. This isn't like in little packages. We're talking rail cars loaded with grain. We're talking about sea links, SEA links, through the water area all near Crimea, which Russia is now taking over. Russia is now cutting off Ukraine so that Western Ukraine is landlocked and Eastern Ukraine, which has all that water frontage, is now going to be controlled by Russia. And all the grain and all the food that Ukraine could be growing will not be able to get out via the oceans. Problem with that is you're going to have to move it out by land, which is rail and truck. Good news, there are rail lines and there are trucks to do this. The problem is to feed 400 million people, you need an armada of trucks and trains like you cannot believe, because these replace massive grain carrying ships that Canada relies on, America relies on to move its food to countries that want it. And now everything is stuck on an overland route instead of in a sea route. This is why the Ukrainians will not give up their port city. They'll fight to the last man, because this is the country. This actually is its economic salvation and well-being. The Russians know it. They want it because they want to be in a position of strength to negotiate a peace deal after they control the entire waterfront. This is war. It's nothing personal. It's just business, the business of war, and it's ugly. But I heard that this morning and I went, wow. I knew that 80 million people in Egypt were importing 80% of their wheat from the Ukraine. But I didn't realize another 320 million people were importing grain from Ukraine also. And that likely means most of the Middle East. It could mean Turkey, Greece, Italy, Israel, Lebanon, Jordan, Syria, Saudi Arabia, Tunisia, Algeria, all these countries surrounding the Mediterranean are all eating and relying on Ukrainian exports for their food supplies. They're all now going, where are we going to go now? Where are we going to get this stuff? Because there will be no crop this year. How is that going to be possible? You're going to be a farmer and farm all kinds of thousands of acres of land that could be subject to cluster bombs from the air on cruise missiles fired from 200 miles away? Give me a break. I just don't see the harvest going too well. The Ukraine's going to have enough trouble feeding itself, let alone exporting anything to anybody else. I thought I'd mention that today. Another little ditty to worry about, which means you guys and we're going to have a problem, because we're going to go to our local grocery store 6 months from now, a year from now, and we're going to find that our loaf of bread and our hot dog buns and all this stuff is just a lot more expensive because the cost of grains will be much higher. World shortage. And we're going to be paying the price as well. This is just another offshoot of what Mr. Putin is doing in Ukraine. So it's not just your gas tank that's getting hit, not that, but it's also the food side of things. And it is just going to permeate through the entire food chain, because you have to know that wheat isn't just in bread. Oats and other grain we just don't make buns with this. We make everything with this. This is really going to be a nightmare. The markets here are vulnerable, and I keep bringing it back. Inflation is not going away. I don't care what the Fed does with interest rates. They cannot stop grain prices from going higher than they are now. You cannot stop the price of a loaf of bread to double in price in the next 2 years by raising interest rates another 1 point. That's not going to happen. So the Fed is on the wrong side of this argument already. But you try and tell these guys that they should be keeping rates low. Good luck with that. Just so you know, there's the update from your old pal, Uncle Bruce, just to give you a big picture of what to expect. You heard it here. I don't know. Did you hear it here first? I don't know if you did. But whatever's going on is going on. We're up 235 on the Dow. We're up 39 on S&P right now. It's going to refresh my screen, double check. Yeah, 234 on the Dow, 38 on S&P. We're up 66 on NASDAQ. So far, it's euphoric. The markets are up in the United States. Great. Oil's up $1.38. Fine. European markets are positive as well. Quarter point in London, 1.5 percentage point in Germany. France is up 1.9%. This Sunday, there's an election in France. The presidential election, the runoff between Le Pen and Macron is going on. If Le Pen wins, carnage. The European markets will tank Monday morning. And I'm not kidding. They will tank Monday morning. If she wins the presidential election, watch out. It's going to be an absolute economic uncertain mess, political disaster. If Macron wins, we'll breathe a sigh of relief, and that's 6 more years of, okay, we got that guy in there. We have got ourselves pins and needles Sunday night with that stupid election in France for that president of France, a country in Europe that isn't the most powerful in Europe. But if this gal wins that position, oh my God, will the world economy will react violently negatively to what's going on. You heard that here first, because you're hearing nothing about this on any mainstream media that I can tell. There's the odd little blurb about they had a debate yesterday and all this stuff. It's bad news, and the polls are tight, and that's the scary part. And it's I just trying to remain calm. In any event, there it is. The euro is at 108.9. The British pound is at 130. I'm guessing that if Le Pen wins, the presidency, the euro will drop to 105. It'll plummet. It will absolutely plummet, and it will give rise to a massive a political upheaval everywhere around Europe, because the far radical right will go, we can win elections, and they will just ramp this up, and there will be uncertainty and a destabilizing effect in Europe that we haven't seen in a long, long time. It could be really nasty. I tell you, well, we're going to find the French elections Sunday are really important. Anyway, yuck. Never a dull moment. Interest rates right now, the U.S. 10-year is at 2.875. We're largely unchanged, just under 3%. It's too high. The 10-year note is ahead of the Fed by a year, way too far ahead of the Fed. But the Fed won't stop the talk about higher rates. And later today, Dr. Doom is going to talk about what's coming up. And this could be so bad for the Dow this afternoon. The indexes in the U.S. could just nosedive later today. It all depends on how he says it, what he says. But right now, the market is not paying attention to the fact that you know who is going to talk later today from the Federal Reserve, Mr. Powell. So I tell you, I just go, wow, you got to be kidding me. But hey, you can choose to walk around like this all you want. Put the blinders on and not see what's happening all around you, and just look at the what you want to look at. And if you like that apple pie in the window and you just want to stare at it all day, it makes you feel good. Fantastic. The fact that just over here, as soon as you buy it, these guys are going to mug you, take it away from you. You don't want to pay attention to that? Well, then be happy and keep looking at your apple pie, and all will be well. You're in your little world as long as they don't beat the crap out of you while you're standing there looking at the pie. Gosh, I don't know. Unbelievable. Okay. Welcome all to the show. Nice to have you here. Sorry I'm a downer today, but I'm giving you the heads up, man. I am trying to give you the heads up. Boy, I'll tell you, I can't wait for Tesla to hit 1,200 this or next week so I can buy some puts on it. I hope Royal Caribbean hits 89.90 so I can make more money shorting it too. China's hiding all their number, dropping like flies. There you go, Chris Evich. Interesting comment. I'll tell you. I just, ooh, man, oh man. Too much crap going on out there. Anyway, welcome one, welcome all. Thank you, all of you who are here. If you're able to throw a thumbs ups to this gloom and doom guy, I'd appreciate it. We're at 119 thumbs ups right now. Thank you, everybody, for stepping up, and let me know what thumbs ups you are. I do appreciate it. Thank you, all of you out there who have subscribed to this channel. Thank you for those of you who have become members of this channel. Appreciate that very much. Those of you who have gone to visit my website, thank you so much for that. I hope you don't mind it. If you are visiting my channel and you happen to look up here, you may find links to classes. If you're taking classes on how to write options, congratulations. You're becoming part of the in crowd. You're becoming part of the winners, I believe, because I think this market here, with the uncertainty that's hanging over it and the economic forces against it, option writers are going to have a field day. The best case scenario is your stocks will hold their values. That's the best case scenario. Well, for option writers, you couldn't ask for a better scenario than that. Stock holds its value, but these options shrink all the time. You're going to write and write again and write again and write again and take in premiums like there's no tomorrow for all the dreamers, from all the dreamers that are hoping for the big up move that just won't come. Fantastic. Aurora, thank you for being number 128 today. I love you. Fabulous, everybody. What about SoFi, Bruce? Is it going to take 5 years or what? Well, it's been listed for 7 months. So let's see what the next 7 months does, and then we'll have seen double the amount of time that it's been a publicly traded company and see what's going on. Has it been 7 months? I don't even know. It might be 8 months, 10 months, but it's too soon to know. Thank you, by the way, to our friend here. Someone sent me a donation. Thank you so much for this PayPal donation. Jason Parrish, thanks, buddy. I appreciate that very much. All donations are gratefully accepted. I'm looking right now at this morning. I was spending some time this morning and last night at hotels in London. I'm trying to find a place to stay with Jennifer that will allow me to do these broadcasts with you guys, so I can do them live. And I don't want to be in one little room, 200 square feet, where Jen is sitting on the bed trying to watch TV, and I'm in the corner trying to talk to you. And here's what's going on in the market. I don't want to bother Jennifer. I mean, we're trying to have a little more semblance of room for that. But I got to tell you, hotel space in London is not cheap. So these donations are very handy, let me tell you, so that we can get our hands on some more space to kind of work this thing. Obviously, Amsterdam will be its unique case, and then being in Switzerland will be its own unique case. We will attempt to be live every day. The markets are open from the road. It's just a matter of how can we pull all this off, and I'll just keep you posted. Anyway, the good news is that I don't have to get up at 2 a.m. to do these telecasts. The show will start at my time, I think 2:30 UK time, if I've got my bearings correct. That's when this show would begin. So 2:30 to 5:30 or whatever the time is when I'm going to be live over there to be with you here for 8:30 Eastern. But I tell you, I'm shopping now and looking closely at room options, and we're looking at Airbnbs, we're looking at apartment situations, we're looking at just all kinds of stuff. But something to be said about a brand name hotel. There's something to be said about that. The assurance of certain standards. Then there's the uncertainty of Airbnbs, and who knows what you're going to get. And you don't want to send money up front, not know what you're renting, and we're having fun. So we'll keep you posted. Never a dull moment. We're 2-3 minutes away from opening the day here today. Thank you for coming in and hanging out with us. If any of you have any suggestions for accommodations in London, send me a private email. Don't do it here because I don't want to gunk this message board up with all kinds of stuff like that. I'd rather that you send me an email. If you want to send me a private email, it's easy to do. Just fire it off here. There's my private email right there at hotmail.com. And let me know what you'd recommend for London. And, we'd like to be in the city. We don't want to be down by the airport. We don't want to be 40 miles out of town. We'd like to be part of the London thing. Jennifer with her hip, we're likely going to rent a motorized scooter with those 4 wheels and the chair and the basket in the front. And that'll give her mobility, but we need a property to stay in where we can go in and out with that unit. So we can't have a hotel that has 6 stairs going up to the front door and no way up there. We can't do that. And I don't want to put her into a freight elevator or anything like this. So, there's logistics. I'm being picky maybe, but then again, so what? How often do you get to go? Do the best you can. Anyway, thank you everybody for being here. We're opening in 2 minutes, and we'll see what this market wants to bring us today. At the moment, the indications are positive. We have a 242-point gain on the Dow going into the opening, 39-point gain on S&P right now, and 167-point gain on NASDAQ. NASDAQ is showing a 1.2% gain right now, where S&P is showing 0.9 and the Dow 0.69, 0.70. Oil up $1.84 to 104.03. We dropped from 109, 110 down to 103-ish, and now here we are at 104. We're kind of laying around here, hanging around. We'll see what's going on. Rumor has it that American Airlines says they see a return to profitability in late this year, 2022. Congratulations, you've stopped losing money. They're going to get to, I think, break even, maybe, but they're not going to return to the profits they had in 19. That is not going to happen. They'll be lucky to pull out a couple of dollars at this point to service their bankers. They are in hawk everywhere, including to the U.S. government. They've had forgivable loans. They've had out-and-out grants given to them. The U.S. government has been handing out money for free to corporate America for the last 2 years, and some of it has to be paid back now. And The airlines are up against it because their fleets are aging out, their employees are more expensive, fuel costs are higher. Everything that could go wrong for an airline is happening and has been happening already. It's going to be a tough slog. So, okay, we'll give you a day of happiness with your stock up. The stock is nowhere near where it used to be, and American Airlines goes to $22 a share. So what? Not much to get excited about. Not Larry Big Daddy Titus has rang the bells for us. We are open. We are trading now. We're up and running. We're going to follow this market as we always do for Thursday, April the 21st, 2022. Tomorrow is option expiry day. Should be a heck of a day tomorrow. I've got the Dow right now showing a 285 gain, 285 point gain to start the morning. Twitter is down $1.02 to 45.70. Cyxtera up 13 cents to $13.75, hitting a high of 13.79 this morning, which is a new all-time record high for Cyxtera. Volume to open the morning at all-time record highs, 5,200 shares. That is all that is trading on Cyxtera. There is nothing for sale. Rocket Lab up 12 cents to $8.58. SoFi at 706, up 11 cents. GameStop 149.37, up 52 cents. AMC up 9 cents. Matterport 667, up 13 cents. 23andMe at $3.47 a share, up 8 cents. Spire $1.87, up 3 cents. Hycroft Mining up 8 cents to 162. ATIP, with all the positivity around the markets, down 7 cents to 169. SmartRent up 3 to 523. Pfizer at 49.95, up 20 cents. Hewlett Packard had a big day yesterday, down 41 cents now at 38.97. A little bit of profit taking coming in there. Robinhood under $11 at 10.91, up 20 cents, still under 11. Vanek Vectors SMH at 250.99, up 3.98. Home Depot up $1.85 at 316.99. IBM down 22 cents after a huge day yesterday. 138.10 is where the stock is at right now. Microsoft up $4 to $290. Apple up $2 to $169. Goldman up $5.38 to $3.46. Cisco up 53 cents to 53.55. Facebook up $1.87 to 202.29. Amazon up $38. Tesla up $86 to $1,064. That's all it's got going for it. Tesla 1,064, the high of 1,078, the low of 1,062. Now we have to watch to see if Tesla can hold these gains or not. Google up $37 to 26.02. Bed Bath Beyond up 35 cents. BlackBerry up 12. Royal Caribbean up $2 to 86.39. That is a put buying opportunity for Royal Caribbean right there. We got Target up $2. We've got JP Morgan up 76 cents. Costco up 76 cents. We have Walmart down 37 cents. NVIDIA up 5.38. American Airlines up 155 to 21.03. The high of the day of 21.40, but now 21.03, up 155. The 52-week range on the stock, 26 for the high, 12 for the low. 2-3 years ago, this stock was in its past. In 2000 and what would that be? January 2018, $58. January 15th, 2018, $58. It is now $21, and they are cheering the stock at 21. We're not going anywhere. We're going back to 15, $16. We're not going anywhere. Netflix, we're up 21 cents only this morning. And now, right now, down 14 cents. Bill Ackman lost $400 million with his fund buying and selling Netflix. He got in to shake things up. He just walked out the door yesterday with his tail between his legs, dropped $400 million with his investors, and got the hell out of town because he has seen the future of Netflix, and he doesn't like where this movie is going. He wants out, and he walked with a loss to go somewhere else. Unbelievable. Moderna up $1.79 to 151.91. That's where we are right here. 312 is the gain on the Dow at the moment. We got S&P up 50 points, NASDAQ up 242. The gain for NASDAQ right now, 1.8%, 1.1% gain for S&P. The Dow's only up 0.8 of a percentage point. In theory, if the Dow were to match the S&P, if the Dow were to match NASDAQ right now, NASDAQ being up 1.8%, if the Dow wanted to do the match, it would be up almost 650 points. But it's up 286. So the Dow is lagging the indexes, but it's had a couple of good days already. So we'll watch for that. I just don't know if the market can hold these gains once Powell begins to speak. I just sense that what's coming out of Powell today is going to put cold water on a hot party. And I wonder if we begin a down drip for the rest of the week, today, tomorrow, and then next week. We'll see. I just do not see good news coming from Chairman Powell. No good news coming from this guy. I don't think so. Anyway, there it is. What is happening here? Cyxtera 14 today? Question mark. Let's go. David is thumbs up number 136. Thank you, David, so much for that. Cyxtera 1388 right now. The high today, the high of all time, 1388. Volume 9,100 on Cyxtera. CYXT. They are a takeover target. Twitter at 46.98 is gaining now. It's up 26 cents. Rocket Lab is up 27 to 872. SoFi at 708, up 13. GameStop 152, up $3. AMC up 49 cents. Matterport up 21 to 675. 23andMe up 12 cents to 351. Spire up 1 penny to 188. ATIP unchanged now, 169. SmartRent up 12 cents to 532. Pfizer down 75 cents to $49, backing off yet again. Hewlett-Packard 38.99 down 39 cents. So we've got selling coming in here and there. Not necessarily all green everywhere. The Dow up now 254, just backed off from that 300-something point gain we were looking at a few minutes ago. All right. Whew, if American Airlines having a sugar rush of a value increase, would buying $15 puts later on in the year make sense? Yeah, I see what you're saying there. If you're going to buy puts, yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. With premiums, there may not be much of a return for you. You want a serious return on your money to do this, and you may not be being offered that with the stock only at 21 bucks. It might just not have enough. You know, if you're paying a couple dollars premium and you need a $4 move, I'm not a big fan of that trade. I've started to cringe when my stocks go up. Am I a bear now? Asks DQ. What's wrong with me? Do I have a problem? What's happening here? 231 gain on the Dow as we're backing up quickly. Cyxtera 1382. Rocket Lab holding at 867, SoFi holding at 707, GameStop 152.92, 152.43, up $3.5 right now on GameStop. GameStop's high of the morning 153.05, the low 148.79. So we're in this $5 range, $4.50 range so far. Too early to tell how we're going to do at the moment. Is anyone doing puts on Netflix? I would not touch Netflix. Period. I would avoid it. Just stay the hell away. I really just would not go there. Getting too scary. GameStop opens pretty strong and almost no volume. MACD looks too good to be true. I'm ready to get hurt again, says Freethinker Mick Jones. 150, 175 on GameStop. We're backing off now. We got up to 153.05. Now we're under 152. We'll watch that, obviously. Volume on GameStop to start the morning, 160,000. Not good. That is extremely light, obviously. Another very light start to the day. All right. AMC up 49 cents at this point. Dead cat bounce, perhaps. 1783 on AMC. Chris Savage says, DQ, how do you throw a party anytime the market has a negative 5% day? Do you get happy when Jay Powell speaks? Is your portfolio net minus 30% and all you do is laugh at how much you're making? If yes to all, you're a bear. There you go. DQ, think the time for puts on Netflix has passed. Might be over already. Yeah, there you go. Let's see. What else is going on? Oh my gosh. I'm hearing also the talk about auto parts, like the auto zones of the world, these type of operators, having problems getting parts in, replacement parts. These are made in Asia, and there are logistical problems getting them in. So there's this issue. So even folks who have cars that are 5 years old, 7, 9, 12, trying to keep them on the road longer, having trouble getting parts in to keep them running longer. This is another issue. But I did see something this morning that I perceived as good news, not good news for Carvana, but the company Carvana had a loss this past quarter, and their stocks are off dramatically. And this is telling me the party might be over for every single business person in the car business to make money simultaneously. That party might be over. Now it's down to the best operators that are going to make money, and the others will lose. I think that we've heard rumors about the used car market being so valuable, used cars being so expensive. That party might be coming to an end because of higher interest rates. Americans are going to be looking at the market's going, I'm not going to carry a loan on a 4-year-old car at 7 or 8% interest. I'm not going to do that. There's no way I'm paying that kind of interest on something that old. And the new car companies, of course, what they will do is the first move they'll make is they'll offer factory financing at full retail price of the car. So you'll walk in the door of a showroom of a dealer and you'll see a car for $39,999. And with all the add-ons and dealer charges and everything else, you're going to walk out of there with a $43,000 price tag, and you're going to borrow that money from the factory at 2.9% or 1.9%. You might take that deal. You'll pay more to get the lower rate because you got the warranty on the car on top of that. And so you're protected on the asset with regards to what you owe on that asset because of the warranty. But you won't do that on a $30,000 used car. Makes sense? Sure does. Because if you're buying a 5-year-old used car with a 90-day warranty, but a 5-year loan, you're vulnerable for 4 years and 9 months. You're on the hook on that thing. Whereas with a new car, you're covered the entire 5-year period or 7-year period. You're covered on an extended warranty. Something to think about. We'll see what happens. Yeah, car company's going to take a hit, except Tesla. That's it. Free Thinker, did you see the post of the guy who bought $375 Netflix puts and panic sold them the day before the drop? He took an $8 gain per contract, made $2,400. Next day, they're worth over $2 million. How about that? How long until Powell speaks? What does anyone know that? Is that noon Eastern or 2 Eastern? I'm not even sure. Umbrella Club Season 3 is what I'm hoping for. Let's see. I think he speaks at 11 and 2. My Jeep is paid off and I'm driving into the ground. Tiff, Uncle Bruce, you talked a lot about the downside of the market today. What does that mean for our former SPACs? I assume we still should not write cover calls on them. My portfolio is 90% of these former SPACs. You can look to write calls on them from time to time. Perhaps you might write, say, January 2023 calls out of the money for a premium. And if you use that cash to average down on your portfolio, or you write, January 2023 out of the money calls, bring in dough from this one, put it all together and buy one stock only super cheap to really bring your average down, whichever one is the most exciting for you. Or you're bringing cash in to just sit on powder, or you're bringing cash in to buy deep in the money calls on Apple, Microsoft, Cisco, Hewlett Packard, and write options on that because of the premiums from these. You might play that game and enhance revenues. There you go. All kinds of options here. Choices. Orange Diva, Uncle Bruce, yes to the car part issue. My 2013 Camaro has been at the dealer for 2 weeks awaiting a remanufactured transmission. Part ordered, no tracking number from GM yet. My Sonata, my Hyundai Sonata needed a new tranny after 11 and a half, 12 years, 330,000 kilometers. Supposed to take a week, took 3 weeks. Same thing. Runs great. Right now, runs fantastic. But yeah, that too had problem. Is this in 2 hours? And thanks you all. I don't know what that means. Austin, anyone heard news about ATIP CEO? I've heard nothing. Wild Willie winning. Hey, Uncle Bruce, been out for a while, but I noticed FCEL is down to around $5. Does that sound like a good buy in price? What is FCEL? I don't even know what that is. I have no idea. Am I supposed to know this stock? Or am I just still so tired? I don't know what's going on. FCEL, Fuel Cell Energy Incorporated, $4.80, down 11. The range of $3.39 for the low and $12.60 for the high in the past 52 weeks. 366 million shares out, all publicly traded. 55 million short interest. So there is some short interest. I have no idea, my friend. Fuel cell company. I don't know them. I don't know their background. Who runs it? What? I got nothing. Danbury, Connecticut. I can tell you that's where they're headquartered. That's all I know. I just see what I'm looking at on Market Watch. I cannot give you an opinion on this stock. Wish I could, but I got nothing for you. I have no idea what they're about. I know kind of basically what they're trying to do, but I can't give you an opinion on the movement of the stock. Is there news? I haven't Googled ATIP in months, says Bobby Michael. No news. Powell, 11 o'clock Eastern time, he talks. Bobby, on that's the news. Also, Michael is the new owner, DQ. We're going SoFi. Are we going? Where are we at? What are we at? SoFi, 689. 692, down 3 cents. We're not going anywhere at the moment. We're up 281 on the Dow. We're up 46 on S&P. NASDAQ up 215. We've got Twitter down 13 again. We're negative. Xterra 1377 up 15. Rocket Lab has gone red. It's down 5. SoFi's down 3. GameStop 154 higher at 150.39. It's backing off. AMC up 41 cents. Matterport only up 7 cents. 23andMe up 7.5. Spire unchanged. Haycroft Mining at 159.9, under 160 again. ATIP 166.7, down 2.3. Have no news. Smart Rent down 6 cents. Pfizer down 49. Hewlett Packard down 61. So we have some stocks in the red here after this opening. I'm expecting the whole market to do this. I really am. I'm expecting the possibility of a down day today on all three markets. Dow, NASDAQ, S&P. Powell. You want to know why? What? How? Powell. That's what I'm expecting. At the moment, we got a lot of green here as well. Vanek up 339, Home Depot up 139, but not a lot. IBM 65 cents higher. Microsoft up $6. That's good. Apple up $3. Goldman up $4. Cisco up 63 cents. Facebook up a quarter. Amazon only up $29. Tesla holding a 105 gain at 1,082. Google up 33, Bed Bath Beyond down 2, BlackBerry up 1, Royal Caribbean 86.28, up $1.93. So we have gains, but they're not incredibly solid. And I'm wondering if we get Powell coming on, talking about inflation, higher interest rates, and trying to control the economy, blah blah blah. We just see a tank coming at us, firing away holes in all of our armor. Wondering if that's what's going to happen. I don't know. There you go. Anyway, SoFi at all-time low. Unbelievable. FCEL equals hydrogen, says David. And who knows? Same thing with ME. Haven't heard anything from them in a while. Must be on vacation. Sometimes you're better off not speaking in a really ugly market. You're just better to shut up and don't talk, because you're just going to draw attention to yourself that you don't need. Maybe that's it. On the other hand, ME and all these other guys are in the middle of takeover offers, that they're negotiating deals and they can't speak. They're in a lockup period. They're in a silent period. They've signed non-compete clause discussions. They're into deep discussions, and they're doing deals. And they won't speak until deals are done. And I respect that. I'd rather that be the answer. I'd rather that actually is the answer, but I don't know. Abram, welcome and good morning. Frumbler, I'm in no rush to buy anymore. SoFi, pooling my money on the sidelines. Austin, Tiff, I bought more yesterday. Earth won't let any of my shares go green. My fault. Nazareth, these spikes at the open are hedge funds buying back shorts and reshorting. That's why it looks like this. So in my opinion, Frumbler, I have broker fees all anyways, laughing out loud. Malo, I had asked Uncle Bruce about FuseCell a few months ago during the primetime show. He did not like it then, as it was losing money out of the wazoo. And if that's what I said then, I stick to it now. Jennifer, wonder if this was a bump before the Fed talk. I'm prepared for a doozy, says 99 Nation. Rob, little pump, sell some calls, bring in premiums, Powell talks, and people get scared, stocks dump, then buy back calls, lock in profits, rinse and repeat. Rob, you got it. I'm late, but I'm number 157, buddy, and I'm here. Thank you, Rob, for being here as always. I know you'd always show up. Love to have you here. We're up 309 on the Dow. Is this a dead cat bounce opening? Are we going to back off dramatically after Powell starts talking? We are an hour and 8 minutes away, I think, or two. 9 o'clock. So, yeah, we're an hour and 8 minutes away. All right, the Dow up 315, S&P up 52, NASDAQ up 231, oil up $1 at the moment. Let's go. Just all kinds of stuff going on here. The oil companies are trying to translate into another fuel economy. Jennifer, Biden is talking right now. Rob, a Nation Videos, I'm sure they'll ask taxpayers to help them do it. SoFi is up 2 cents. Maybe he's talking good things on student loans. Absolutely, Rob. They're scheming right now. Olivia, I'm number 158. You got this. Thank you so much, Olivia, for being here as well. SoFi, 696, just up a penny. Volume on SoFi now, 7 million today. The Dow up 329.9. You must like what the president's saying. OLIVEA, there you go. Watching to see what's going on. Apparently, Elon Musk has received commitment letters to provide $46.5 billion in funding for Twitter buyout. So he has secured his commitments to get the money if he needs it to buy up the company. Interesting. And life is measurably better without the burden of this debt, as Biden reviews student debt cancellation, young people with debt, delay buying a house, and even having kids. No question about that. If you're deep in debt from college, you are putting stuff off. All kinds of life decisions are being put off, no question. What else? Rob said it years ago when renewable energy started coming out more and more. I said, watch the oil companies fleece everyone until they can't anymore, then cry foul, ask for a bailout to convert. Yeah, that could be too. They are experts at socialism. Oil companies are experts at getting money from governments. It's incredible. Pocket change, says Bobby. Free thinker, I laugh too at Oulivier. Olivia, your avatar serving me, Lydia, from Beetlejuice, and I'm here for it. Rob, sad part is that most of the politicians in any country are so in bed with these companies, they will get the bailout. It's unbelievable. National security is what we call it. Keep people moving in big pickup trucks. National security. I call that vote security is what that really is, keeping the votes secure. And that is life 101. We just got to admit it. We're up 299 on the Dow, 47 on S&P, 209 on NASDAQ. Waiting to see what is coming out of Washington today. Is there talk of perhaps student debt loan forgiveness being put together? What? We don't know. SoFi, $6.98 to $7 right now is where it's at. GameStop, 150.56 up 171. The GameStop range today has been as high as 153.12, as low as 148.58. We're 150.56. So $2 off the low and 2.5 off the high, or something like that. That's where we're at, right in the middle at the moment, and we'll see what the market wants to give us. Twitter's green again, 46.92, because Elon has the money. He now has secured the dough should he go forward with a takeover. This is another nail in the coffin for the directors of Twitter. Unless they can find a white knight to take them out at a better deal, Elon is going to make a move. And now the question is, does the board of directors, do they adopt a poison pill and screw their own shareholders out of a deal under the guise of protecting the company, or not? How's this going to play out? Olivia says, thanks, friend. Nice 9 videos is smiling. DKNG just can't get rolling up the green, says Bobby. There you go. Rocket Lab still down 6 cents. SoFi up 1 penny. GameStop up 185. Amazon, AMC up 32 cents. Matterport up 7. 23andMe up 9 cents. Spire down a penny. ATIP down 2.5. SmartRent down 9. Pfizer down 33. Hewlett Packard 38.92 down 46 cents. That's where we are at this moment in time. Apple now 170.22. Goldman up 504 to 346. Good to see Goldman coming back up. I know that a lot of you out there have call options in the 320, 330, 340, 350, 360 range. And as the stock is moving up, your calls are coming back. And some of you are in the money again, and you're in the option writing business again. A little bit better, a little bit better. We'll see how it goes. Tesla up 101 to 1,078. The high of the day, 1,090. The low, 1,062 on Tesla today. Google up 30, Amazon up 25. That's what we've got going on right here, right now. The Dow up 329 on another buy wave coming through at this moment. Could it be program buying? Yep, it could be. We'll see how this works out. And rumors keep going around that Elon Musk is considering a possible tender offer where he will just make an offer to all shareholders. He'll put an offer out there good for 30 days, whatever it is. 54.20, I'll take all your stock off you. Sell me all you want. I'll buy it all. And that might be what could end up happening, circumventing the board entirely. I don't know. We'll see what gives. What do you mean by poison pill? Does Twitter have to sell if Elon's offer is good enough? I don't understand. Poison pills came out in the 80s when there was a whole lot of potential takeover offers coming up from all kinds of hedge fund operators, and they would buy up a company, and then what they would do is they would saddle it with all kinds of debt, and then they would take that debt money and they would literally they would take the company over, make it a private company, saddle a company with debt, take the debt money to pay them back for the money they paid to buy the thing, borrow more money than the company could ever repay, in effect take all their dough out, and then they would sell off the company to somebody else for $1 a share, and it would go under. And these guys would decimate companies. They would also take over companies and then piece them off into small chunks, sell off this chunk, this chunk, this chunk, and they bring in double the amount of money that they paid for the company by breaking it into little pieces. Boards were horrified, and so they would put in poison pills that were something like, if any one shareholder bought more than 20% of the stock, then automatically every shareholder in the company would get 1 share for every share they had as a dividend. And that would just bring the value down and liquidate out the company. Or they would do a cash distribution to all shareholders. That might be like the company would immediately go into debt on its own right now and borrow money to give shareholders a $2 a share dividend. And now it's not attractive to buy anymore. And they would make the company almost impossible to get or very unattractive to buy. There were a zillion versions of poison pills, but that has sort of faded away in the last few years, but it's still around. Oh, goody, my 5 Royal Caribbean put strikes for Stinkies for $80 strikes expiring May 20 just hit. Don't know or care why Royal Caribbean is 86.60, but I do know it's a cash cow. There you go. Michael, volume so low on ATIP, it looks like just me and another dude trading. It's free thinker. Poison pill is designed to screw Elon over if he buys. Tender offer makes more sense. Credit Savage, hopefully the 1,000 total I paid for the five $80 puts will morph into 3,000 in a month. Yay, puts are like little seeds that must be watered with red market juice, and they bloom into bills of all denominations. Dave, that guy. Nicholas, if Elon buys too much, Twitter will create and release new stock to lower his percentage ownership and value. Frantic, I have huge respect for Ackman and him dumping his Netflix position. His investment thesis was no longer true, so he got rid of it, took his loss, and moved on. 99 Nation Video saw a bit of precursors to your suspicion of a massacre when Powell flutters into place another 50 points, 100 points. Rob, Credit Savage house husband, you, sir, have a way with words. We are up 281 on the Dow. Twitter's up 4 cents. Sexteris 1375 up 13. Rocket Lab down 13 to 833. SoFi down 2 to 693. GameStop 149.02. We're only up 17 cents now. So we're at the lows or approaching the lows of the day on GameStop. 148.58 is the low. 149.02 is where we're at right now. AMC is only up 20 cents. It's blacking off. Matterport only up a penny. ME still up 7.5. Spire down 2. ATIP down 2.5 cents. SmartRent down 11. Pfizer down 22. And Hewlett Packard down 15. GameStop wants to go red, and that's what it looks like. Does this mean Twitter is a screaming buy right now? Should we look at deep in the money calls? This is the question. Twitter is 46.87 up 15 cents. Musk has put a 54.20 bid up there. He has mentioned, I'm prepared to pay this price. To me, I see the stock going to 51, 52. I see that, but I don't know if the options are worth it. I don't know if the premiums are too high. Credit Savage, Rob, why thank you, kind sir. Much obliged. Literature was my favorite subject when in school. 99 Nation, pretty sure Powell is serving a frozen bagel. Rob, I was thinking about Twitter yesterday. If Twitter is at 46 now and Elon is going to offer 54, wouldn't that be a no-brainer to buy and score an $8 gain? Well, if Elon comes out and says, I'm prepared to buy 20% of all the stock at 54.20, let's just say he did that, and 80% of the stock came in, he would only take 20% of the 80. He'd only take a quarter of it. That would move the market to maybe 47, 48. If he came out and said, I'm prepared to buy, say, 41% of the company at 54.20, because he owns 10 now, let's say, that would give him 51% total control. So he offers to buy 41%, but 82% comes in, only half will be taken up. The other half will be given back. That could cause a bit of a run, but not enough. If he comes out and says, I'm prepared to buy it all, I'll take all of it at 54.20. I'll buy every share anyone wants to sell me. But he only gets 80% of it. He'll take the 80% plus his 10. He's got 90. And the other 10, he'll force out. As soon as he gets 90%, he can force the rest out on a SEC rule that gets the rest out of there. And he can privatize this thing. But if he only gets 75% of all the stock, that leaves 25% out there, but that 25% might be trading at 55 a share. And that's where you guys come in that are scheming, going, well, maybe I can make some money on it. Rob, Chris Savage, oh, cool. Mine was lunch. Miraculous, 167 thumbs ups. Thank you. Hi, the Miraculous Free Thinker Flash Breakout. What is this? Something breakout on a 200-minute SMA. Not so sure what's possible. Could get around 50 in a second. Who knows? I don't know what this means. I don't know what this is about. I have no idea what's going on. Bama, on Elon's TED interview, he said he did have a backup plan. Kareem.
It's called a pump and dump.
Pump and dump. They don't want to take Elon's deal because they don't want free speech. It's not about the money. Welcome, Jennifer.
Good morning.
Jennifer couldn't hold it anymore. It's because it's a pump and dump. There you go. DQ.
And he could have come into it very honestly, but at the end of the day, he can take his ball and go home and sell what he's bought at an increased, and make a tiny little profit.
Yeah. He didn't. I don't think he paid $46 for the stock.
It could be a pump and dump.
A raw dough onion bagel with American cheese whiz. I don't think so, DQ. Daniel sold out of SoFi back in November. Been slowly buying back as we go down. I thought 864 was a great buy last month. Just bought another 100 at 692. Next month, I'll probably buy it even lower. Daniel just keeps buying it up. Rancic picked up some QQQ puts this morning, expecting Jay Powell to drop the hammer. Free thinker bouncing between 50 and 200 SMA on the minute chart. 99 says DQ. He's laughing out loud. All right, there you go.
Today?
Yeah, he talks in 55 minutes.
Uh-huh.
I'm sitting here looking at the Dow up almost 300 points all morning.
Will they get
and I'm thinking
half a point up?
This baby could tank at any time. They didn't have the meeting yet.
No.
He's just going to talk about future meetings.
Oh.
There's nothing good coming from Powell. There's nothing coming from Mr. Happy. Mr. Happy is not going to make you happy. Yeah, I'm waiting for the market to take a dump with his comments.
I don't know the type of personality you have to be to not only have that job, but to want that job.
Yeah.
I think you have to be the ultimate bean counter. You have to be the ultimate paternal personality to figure you can take care of things. But
Yeah.
I'd rather watch my fingernails grow than do that.
I would imagine that some of these Fed governors in the past would have been interesting people to have a coffee with or smoke a cigar with at the country club.
Oh, I'm not saying he wouldn't be have one dinner or one lunch with.
But these guys are wound so tight that
and they're so far in the future.
Oh yeah.
Do they get to enjoy?
They're so
the
analytical.
they're living?
So analytical that I don't know if they enjoy the air they breathe. I really don't know.
I just don't know.
You don't really get to know these guys very well. Then again, they're not John Travolta. I mean, there's certain people more interesting.
They don't smell like just warm baked cookies.
They don't smell like warm baked cookies. They don't smell like baby powder. Yeah, brand new baby. They don't smell like brand new babies.
No, I was thinking of Travolta in the movie Michael.
Michael, yeah, great
smell
movie.
like warm cookies.
Smell like warm
Fresh
cookies.
Baked cookies just out of the oven.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jen is so on the money, says 99 Nation. Bama, Biden live sending another $800 million to Ukraine for aid. DQ.
Yeah.
Jay Powell hates old people, children, and dogs.
Why do you hate America?
Why do you hate America so much? Why is that?
I can't remember what movie that came out of, but we have definitely adopted it.
Oh, we've learned that line.
That's a metaphor for everything.
That's a metaphor for everything around here. Why do you hate America so much? How dare you hate America, you bastards? Oh my God. 694 on SoFi, down a penny. GameStop 149.20, up 35 cents. 149.14, up 29 cents. It looks like GameStop wants to go red. Nation videos, is laughing. Oh, Lordy Lou, up 283 on the Dow. Powell speaks in 52 minutes. Now we're up 264 on the Dow. Watch it already swoon, getting ready for this guy. Just get ready. 38-point gain on S&P and NASDAQ up 138.
Who was it? I should remember this. It's a financial institute. When so-and-so speaks, everybody listens. What was it? Oh,
there was an ad.
That was their tagline.
When E.F. Hutton speaks, everybody listens.
That's who it was.
Yeah, we used to have those commercials in the 70s with John Houseman was the actor.
Yeah, they'd be at a restaurant and be talking, and suddenly every other table would lean in.
Yeah, but what do you think? What do you think is going to happen with interest rates? Well, I think in the whole restaurant would just go.
Yes.
And the two guys who were talking to each other, they'd be going. It's kind of like taking Uncle Bruce out to a fancy restaurant. Uncle Bruce, what do you think about the stock market? So, well, I think, and that's when the whole room goes quiet because they're watching me chew on a bagel and give you advice.
That's what it is.
Oh, sure, that's what it is. Oh, yeah.
Exactly
it's just like that. It's just like that. It's just like that. Come on, get over yourselves. It's just like that. So I've been asking the channel for advice. Where in London should we stay? Keeping in mind that I go on the air and we can't be in a 200 square foot room.
We can't be in the Mentone, though the Mentone was lovely when
we were in a hotel.
Yeah,
in 1999 we were in a hotel called the Mentone in Russell Square, and we had paper thin walls, and it wasn't. So we need a place that's kind of like a 1-bedroom apartment kind of a place where Jen has her own bedroom with a bathroom.
And a den would be nice, like a dedicated workspace.
Yeah, but we want something under $200 Canadian a night.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks, everybody. You can all recommend the Savoy. You can all recommend the highest, swankiest. We appreciate you doing that. But that's not what we're looking for.
I'm pretty sure we'll be right in the heart of downtown London.
Heart of London, where all the action is. We also need a property that's friendly to a four-wheel scooter, electric scooter that Jen can drive in and terrorize everyone in the lobby. Get out of my way! That's right, baby.
Take that flag off. They don't need to see me coming.
I wonder if we could rent could we rent maybe a one of those zappers, one of those, you know, those tasers. Could we rent a taser on the end of a stick for Jen too? Get out of the way! That would be fun.
My cousin, see if I can get a cow prod.
Get a cow prod. Let's bring a cattle prod with us to London. Let's see how that goes through customs. That should be fun.
What's that?
What's that? Nothing. You ask another question, I'll give it to you.
It's part of my cane.
That's right. It's a protection system. All right. Oh man.
That's what it is.
Credit Savage. Rob, about Twitter, you are correct. I took a position at $45.99 and lunch was my second favorite subject. I still think McDonald's stole the McRib idea from the company that made those Sammys for school. Splair, ATI will announce earnings on the 9th of May, by the way. Credit Savage. Uncle Bruce, don't you find it fascinating that whenever there's a conflict anywhere in the world, the U.S. sends billions in aid and weapons, yet at home we never have money for free health care or education? There you go.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Well, guess who has lobbyists in Washington all over the place? The defense industry. The guys who make the weapons have lobbyists all over the place.
This is not the only country where this happens.
You tell me how many lobbyists are in Washington that specifically help the poor get free health care and education. Good luck finding those lobbyists with access to key Congress and senators. No, the defense industry and the health business and the liquor guys and the cigarette guys and Big Pharma, they all got their lobbyists over in Washington, making sure that everything just stays the way it is. We don't need to change anything.
We don't need
E.F. Hutton says DQ. Let's see. Brian Nations makes me feel like you've got a.
E.F. Hutton?
I don't know
Obviously
if the firm got. Maybe they got taken off. Maybe I feel like I've got a front row to a public beheading from a medieval execution, says 99. Savage always got the homing pigeon on the issues. Rob, Bruce, just get a large backpack and carry Jen on your back around Europe. The kids call it backpacking around Europe, you know.
That's right. Gap year.
Gap year. It's a gap year for you two kids. It's just a gap year. Good morning, Jen from John Anderson. Paul's loving this. Dave, how does the military war complex make money off of free healthcare or education? I mean, come on. What are you talking about here? Paul, you guys crack me up, says Paul.
Yeah.
I got a kick yesterday out of I saw a clip last night on the news here in Canada where a reporter was asking Prime Minister Trudeau in a little press conference, well, what precisely what weapons is Canada sending to Ukraine and how are they getting them in there? And the Prime Minister politely replied, well, due to the sensitive nature of the weaponry that we're providing, we're not in a position to be able to disclose this public information over the airwaves at this point in time. But someday down the road, we might reveal what we've sent to Ukraine and how we did it. But at the moment, I think it's best that we don't comment at this time.
Well, the joke has always been that West Edmonton Mall has more submarines than Canada.
There was always that joke. Yeah. And I remember during the Gulf War. We didn't have
military stuff to send.
No, I remember during the Gulf War back in 1990 when George Bush the father was in the White House, and a coalition was being put together to move in to take Saddam Hussein out of Kuwait. A reporter was asking. I think it was Schwarzkopf, the leader of the U.S. delegation.
Guy,
well, just what precisely what weapons are you shipping over there? And what's your plan to invade Iraq? And he said, what's my plan to invade Iraq? I don't think I can talk to you about that right now in front of the world media. You know what I'm saying?
I know. It's when the reporters got such tunnel vision, they forget what they're actually asked.
Why does the Pentagon always hide top secret plans? Why don't you just tell us what your top secret plans are? Because this is a free country, and we're entitled to know what the top secret plans are.
So what ship will they be on? What harbor will they go to?
Yeah.
What time?
Where's that aircraft carrier going to be located exactly? Can you give us the coordinates? just so that when the missiles land from Iraq, we've got cameras in the area to cover the footage. Could you help us out with that? Would you mind? Germany said they wouldn't send tanks because the Ukrainians wouldn't know how to use them. That's an interesting comment. DH, Uncle Bruce, stay in hostels and you can do your own shows in front of a live audience. But you got to put the disclaimer, tape before a live studio audience.
Or one of those, what do they call them? Those capsule hotels?
One of those capsule hotels.
You sleep in a pod?
Oh, we'll take a pod. I'll just do the broadcast from a pod every day.
I think I'd lose it. I think I have just enough claustrophobia that I don't know if I can do that. I have trouble being inside the silver.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
You know what we should do? We should just go to the BBC, walk in there, tell them who we are, and tell them I need some studio space. You got a cameraman lying around? Where's the sound man? Get me a producer. I want to go live in a professional format here. Help us. You know who I think I am? Do you have any idea who I think I am? My viewers back in North America and around the world, they want to know what I think about option writing today, and you guys are going to broadcast me live, whether you like it or not. How you think that could go over well? Malo, good morning, Auntie Jen. Bobby, put on a yellow sticky note, bang button in the tanks.
Bang button.
Bang button. Paul Rodriguez, just watch Your Vacation with Chevy Chase. Good travel guidance right there.
There you go. Yes.
Rob, it's not fair that the governments don't tell the media their secret plans. How else are they going to get the shots for the B-roll of all the news segments? I want something from the ratings here. Come on, man.
Okay.
Point this and husband General Schwarzkopf didn't count on the intelligence and out-of-the-box thinking of Geraldo Rivera, though. He gave the U.S. positions away using sticks and rocks when they were right outside Fallujah. Brilliant. DQ, Bobby Atkinson, that will be film idea for Pornhub in about 15 minutes. Oh, man, oh, man, oh, man.
Yeah.
All we're trying to do is just go to London, broadcast from London for you folks to give you the benefit of what's going on in the market. Why is this so hard?
Pearls of wisdom.
Yeah, why is this so hard? What do you mean I have to pay to stay there? What are you guys talking about? I provide a service. You should be grateful I'm coming to your town. Put me up for nothing. That's what I say. That's right. I'm advertising your local establishments while I'm down there.
That's right.
That's right. Here's the McDonald's in Soho. Here's the McDonald's in Kensington. Here's the Burger King in so-and-so. Come on down. It's great.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Last time we were there, which was a cajillion years ago, I think it was in a McDonald's that we had taken our daughter into the McDonald's, and we had this very Scottish young man ask us if we wanted to have chips with that. So the way he was saying it, it was like purple burglar alarm. Right? Like there was no words of recognition. And finally, the poor man, he just pointed to the picture. And we're like, fries.
French fries. Yeah, we want fries with
chips.
that.
Yes, I'd like chips.
Yeah, we'd like chips with that.
As he's looking at us with this, oh my God, stupid round-eyed tourist.
Tourist. Why did I take this job in this neighborhood? Why don't I work at a McDonald's where I live, where all the locals are? Why am I with these tourists?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Oh my
I've
God.
done that too many times. My Anglo-Saxon ears. So what are you saying?
We were in London in 1999
It was 99.
we were there for
A month.
we got there in November until the Christmas time.
Yes,
so a little over a
Christmas.
month, 5 weeks. And we were poor.
And
we
it's
were
still
broke.
green.
Yeah, we were broke at the time. We didn't have a lot of dough. And so we were staying in a bed and breakfast hotel called the Mentone, which included a breakfast every morning. And we had 3 beds in the room, one for each of us, and our own little bathroom. We had our own bathroom.
We had our own bathroom.
It was tiny, but it worked. But we did London on the cheap.
It was at the top of those
Yes,
tiny spirals.
we were up at the 4th floor of a 5th floor hotel, narrow, steep
our
stairs,
luggage
and I mean
around.
steep. And we did get help getting him up there. I think one of the young guys
Yes.
helped us with
I think
the
he
kid.
looked at
He was like 22 years old,
poor
and he
12-year-old
just put it on his shoulder and walked up there. these 70-pound suitcases. Unbelievable.
Well, because we were traveling for a year.
Yeah, it was.
So,
yeah.
we didn't.
Yeah.
It's not like we had packed for a month. We had packed for a year of multiple
One
climates.
guy and 2 girls. We had stuff.
We each had a big and a small. Yeah.
Wonderful memories. There were some tough times, tough days, but all in all, wonderful memories of the whole thing. Really interesting. First time for us to be in London.
Our poor daughter got to the point where she didn't want to go to anything historical or touristy because I'd make her write a report.
No more museums, Mom. Please, God, I don't want to write another school report for you.
If I see one more ship, I'm gonna scream.
Because she was being homeschooled, so oh yeah, she didn't want that. But it was interesting. It was an interesting experience for all of us. GameStop right now down 99 cents to 147.86.
And it came to fruition when she was in university, and to some point in high school, but more when she was in university. Mm-hmm. And they're talking about something, and she's like, "Oh yeah, I saw that.
I was there.
I saw that.
Oh, I've seen that.
I saw that.
Oh, Shakespeare. Oh yeah,
I saw that. Yeah.
Oh, the Second World War. Oh yeah, I saw that. The history of the relationship between Britain and Canada. Oh yeah, I know all about that. Yeah.
I highly recommend going to Dover. That was fascinating.
Dover was cool. Yeah. Portsmouth was cool. Bath, loved it. Loved Bath, England. Wow, that was fantastic.
Bath was a great hub to be able to go out and see
the Roman ruins, the Roman baths.
Stonehenge. I got
Stonehenge. It's not Stonehenge. It's Stonehenge.
Is it Stonehenge?
Stonehenge is what it is. Yeah. If you watch Spinal Tap, you know all about Stonehenge. The models that were made for the stage.
And down they came.
And then down came the models in the middle of the song on Spinal Tap, and then out came the dancers with the mini kilts.
They're only 18 inches. They're supposed to be 18 feet. No.
You wrote down 18 inches. I have the napkin right here with all of the results. I've got the schematics right here.
I love that show so much.
Down 177 on GameStop, 147.08. Oh, that was a great
Dow?
movie.
Are they getting ready for Powell?
Powell, where are we at? 258 Powell watch. We're up 258 on the Dow. We're up 34 on S&P and 103 on NASDAQ. But we've backed off by half on NASDAQ, at least half already. Yeah, that is what's happening. We'll watch what's going on.
What's the breakfast going to be this morning?
Oh, I'm thinking bagel.
You ready for a bagel?
I'm thinking a bagel, and I'm thinking about a bagel. Oh, you know what you could do for me? You told me what you had yesterday.
What did I have?
Where you melted that.
The brie.
The brie. How about some melted brie?
Nice.
If you cut that the outside off of that nice way,
you don't want a little bit of rind. That gives
no.
Such a princess.
Don't I look like a princess to you? Yeah.
Okay.
Should see this face if she'd allow it. You'd see a princess face if you ever saw a princess face.
No, that would be a snowflake.
That would be a snowflake face. Thank you, my dear. We're gonna try the brie today. Oh wow, it was on sale at Costco. We bought it up. Oh my gosh. This is so much fun. British Bagel Bakeries in Plain English with Uncle Bruce. That's right. These guys should pay me to come over there. Uncle Bruce, the Credit Savage, Uncle Bruce. Those Royal Caribbean puts I just bought, they're already being watered with red market juice. I'm up 7% already. I wish people watched the diatribe you went on about Royal Caribbean last year. Ever since I shorted on the pops every time. 99 Nation, thank you for mentioning Savage. Angela, 181 thumbs ups. Powell hasn't even said anything yet, and look at all the bleeding that's going on here. Daniel Godfrey, and oh, how they danced. Bill, Stonehenge, where the Druids live, and they do it well. Hey, me ancestors did a circular ting. Something red for breakfast to go with the markets later today. Oh, that movie, Spinal Tap, with that Stonehenge scene where the Stonehenge model comes down from the ceiling on stage. Oh my God, that is so funny. Free Thinker, a breakout under 200 minutes. SMA successful. Patterning now showing bearish convergence of the 50 and 200-day moving average. We need to get above 149.05 and hold it if we'd like to see a bullish reversal this morning. GameStop 147.71 down 114. Dave the Mac guy, I must not be awake yet. I thought you asked for debris on your bagel, and I thought, well, that's pretty trashy. Oh, you guys have got to get your coffees going, man. Get your caffeine in your systems. Wake up. Oh, my God. We're up 255 on the Dow, 33 on S&P, NASDAQ up 111. And Jay Powell's going to speak in 35 minutes. Oh, my God. Twitter up 15 cents. Xterra 1374 up 12. Rocket Lab down 22 cents. SoFi 681 down 14. GameStop down $1 to 147.83. AMC only up 8 cents. It was as high as 1807, 1744. Right now we're falling. We've got Matterport 648 down 6 cents. ME down up 4 at 343 backing off. Spire down a penny. We got ATIP down 3.5. SmartRent down 12 cents. Pfizer down 38. Hewlett Packard down 19 to 39.19. Robinhood down 4 cents to 10.67. Vanek Vectors up $2. Home Depot negative down 16 cents after hitting 318. We're at 314 and falling. IBM up 207 to 140.39. A nice little pop. The high of the last year for IBM, 146.12. We're within $6 of the all-time high, or the 52-week high. Microsoft, $290, up $4. Apple, $3 higher at $170. Goldman up $245 to $343, but they were as high as $347 today on Goldman Sachs shares. Cisco up 65 cents. Facebook has gone red, down $320 at $197. Amazon red, it's $15 down now after reaching $31.34. We're at $3,064. We've dropped $70 from the high already on Amazon. What do they know? Tesla down 80, up $83, but it's backed off from $1,090 to $1,060. $30 give back on Tesla so far. Google up $20, but it's backed off from $26.05 to $25.85. $20 has already been lost on Google's high of the day. Bed Bath Beyond down 9, BlackBerry down 5, Royal Caribbean 85.88 a share, up 153 after hitting a high of 87.65. Put buying time has arrived at Royal Caribbean. Unbelievably stupid prices for Royal Caribbean. Target up 170, JP Morgan up 65 cents. Costco only up 87. It was as high as 609. It's now 604. Costco's falling back. Walmart's gone red. We were 160 and a half. We're now 159.39, backing up on Walmart. That's a Dow component. Nvidia up $1.52 after being as high as 223, almost 224 a share. We're now sitting at 216, backing off. There it is. American Airlines still up $1.36 at 2086, but the high was 21.42. We're backing up there as well. Moderna up 85 cents to 150.97. The Dow right now holding a 238 gain, but we've given back. We were at 35,492 for the high. We're now at 35,406. 86 points have been given back so far on the Dow. We'll see how much more Mr. Powell might affect this. 32 minutes away from Powell speaking from the Fed. We'll watch that. Conversation this morning. I gotta love it. Credit Savage, SoFi hits new all-time low again and again and again. 99 Nation, the shorts have been merciless on SoFi. Reminds me when Amazon went to $113 to $6 back in the day. Right now, SoFi 686, down 9 cents on the day. The low of the day, 681. Volume, 15 million. Bargain City on SoFi. Absolute bargain city on SoFi. Company is growing leaps and bounds, and the stock has got problems. Stock problems, not corporate stock issues. Shareholders have to be wiped out. The guys who have got to get out have got to get taken out. Once they're gone, nothing but upside. But until they're done, we're not done, and it's just a matter of when. Sooner or later, they'll run out of ammo, and then we're on our way. I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. I'll be around for it. Let's see what's going. 267 point gain on the Dow, 41 on S&P, 149 gain on NASDAQ. Oil up 246 to 105.21. That's what we've got right at the moment as we wait for Mr. Powell to speak to the world about what he is thinking with regard to rates. Thank you for 185 thumbs ups on this telecast. I appreciate this so much. Those of you who are still able to throw a thumbs up our way, please hit that thumbs up button and give us a little more momentum. We do appreciate this. It's helping the channel to be exposed to new followers, and that is always a good thing. The more followers that follow the stocks we follow, the better, I say. They're following the right ones. Where else are we going on here? We're just pounding away here on this market, doing the best we can with what little we got, one step at a time. Thank you all so much for your support of this channel. Index of leading U.S. economic indicators rose in March. That's a headline. Sometimes we'll speak softly and carry a large javelin, says Biden. There you go. Interesting stuff. Tesla 1,068 right now, 1,067, 1,068 a share, up $90 a share at the moment on Tesla. Okay. Still no word about the China problem. No one's talking about the China problem. Nobody wants to talk about it. GameStop 148.60, down a quarter at the moment, down 25 cents at 148.60, 148.80 roughly is where GameStop is at. The low on GameStop today has been 146.95, the high 153.12 so far on GameStop. There's the story. Other news on interest rates. The 10-year, US 10-year is 2.90. The German is 0.91. That's a 2% difference between German rates and American rates. UK 1.98, very close. 1 point away basically from the USA. Currency, the euro 108.72. It did hit 109 today, but it is backing up. The pound 130.54, trying to hang around this 130.31 neighborhood. European markets are closing out with about a 1 to a 1.5 point gain between Germany and France, but the London is almost unchanged. No help there at this point. In America, 248 point gain on the Dow. I'm sure the rest of the world is waiting for Powell to speak and holding their breath. The S&P up 39, NASDAQ up 154, oil up $3. And we'll wait for Mr. Powell here in about 28 minutes. Begin some chat, whether he's doing a speech or a press conference or what he's doing. We'll find out, and we'll watch the markets as to what's going on. The energy, the EIA reports a weekly increase of 53 billion cubic feet of U.S. natural gas supplies. That's a good sign for consumers. Lots of gas available. No shortage there. Prices will stay moderate or be more moderate, we hope. Way behind in the video and on 2 times speed. So Mr. Chipmunk sounds good this morning. You made me spit out my coffee when you said you don't want to put Jen on a freight elevator. Well, you know, I don't want to do that. I don't want to have Jen in a little scooter in a freight elevator. We don't want to have that. That's not nice. We want to be in a nice property, a decent hotel, nice apartment or something. I mean, we don't want to have her on a freight elevator. I mean, my gosh, no. That would be wrong. I'd be in big trouble. Anyway, what can I say? I do the best I can with what little I have, you know. I'm just a guy looking out for his wife, you know. Jeez. Oh, no. SoFi, 685 down a dime. GameStop, 147.65 down 120. Rocket Lab down 20 to 826 right now. That's Cyxtera, 1374 on 36,000 shares. The high today, 1388, all-time new record high on Cyxtera. Here we are.
This is a massive mess.
It's a massive mess.
It just is.
Oh my, look at it. Look at the meltage.
Yeah.
Look at the meltage of the brie.
So.
And look at all the rind I didn't want. Look at all that. I didn't want it. I didn't want it. I didn't ask for that. I specifically asked no.
I took off as much rind as I could.
And then I got the dope slap anyway.
Yes.
Just so you know.
Dope slap.
The dope slap. Look at it. Oh my, oh my. Well,
Right?
Let's try.
Is it really, really hot?
Nope.
No? Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Don't touch anything.
It's like I don't know how to blow my nose.
They say the appetite starts with your eyes. So yeah. It's a snot sandwich. There you go.
That's a snot sandwich. Thank you, honey, for that image.
Hey. I'm just looking at the picture. You drew it.
Welcome to my world. No, I don't want to put her on a freight elevator. No, I don't. Really, no. Oh, my. It's messy, but oh. Is it ever good? Oh, is this ever delicious? Melted brie cheese on a bagel. It's an unqualified mess, but it is delicious. Absolutely delightfully delicious. The Dow is up 266. Will it back off? Once Powell starts talking, 24 minutes away for the countdown. You got to wonder the market's anticipating what he's going to say. I have to lick my fingertips because, oh, this stuff is good. Oh, my. So good. Come on, markets. 256 on the Dow now. Another little pullback. Oh, my. Oh, my. This show's been funny today, says Coyote. It reminds me on the markets today, the bagel. Fondue to dip into the bagel. Fondue dip. Here we go. Look at these bagels. Look at this. Oh my God. There's no easy way to eat this. You just got to go in there and chomp on it. Oh, I'll tell you, this is pretty good. The Dow 242, 238. We're dropping. We're slipping on the Dow. We're not plummeting, but we're slipping. The Dow is definitely backing up. How's the Dow going to react with Chairman Powell and his commentary? 23 minutes away. 233 is the uptick now. Oh boy. GameStop, new low. 146.79 I see now. Oh boy. Fantastic. 146.57 is the low trade of the day. Okay. Musk says he secured funding and it's exploring Twitter tender offer. That's coming out now on news results, on news feeds. Twitter, 47.25, up 53 cents. Now over 47. This could move it to 50. This could do it. I don't know. Mm. Mm. Oh, 146.44. Another new low. Mm. There's no easy way to watch this, you know. I used to love melted brie cheese baguette sandwiches with a little Dijon mustard. Oh my. Let's go on the 0.75% hike in MAI, May. Mm. We're going to find out what kind of hike we're going to get here on interest rates in the USA. Mm. 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 GameStop 146.35. A new low. Volume 437,000. That's it. Oh man, bagel, one chunk to go. So good. Mm. 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 The Dow's backing up again. The Dow Jones now up 227. Now it's up 217. The Dow's backing up again. Okay. Here we go. Mm. 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 Oh boy. Oh boy. There's no dignified way to eat this. It's so difficult. My napkin is falling apart. Oh gosh. Melted brie on a toasted bagel. Oh, that's an adventure. Welcome to Flavor Town. That's what I say. Mm. Can't get it out of my teeth though. It's in between my teeth everywhere. Oh my. Thank you for your indulgence, everybody. Appreciate it. 99 Nations. I'm prepared. Eyes on stocks. 2 eaten bagels and a fluffy teddy bear to hold on tight. Don't judge me. I'm ready. Oh man. Free Thinker is saying negative crossover of 50-day and 200-minute SMA stock moving average showing bearish divergence, low end volatility. We're going sideways mostly. I'd like to see a covered call shattering surge, but the charts ain't showing it to me. Angela, a war, Powell, and the corona. Now what shall we ask for Christmas this year? Are you confused? A functional SEC would be amazing. A top to bottom blockchain overhaul. John, stocks to go up would be nice too. This is fine dining, says Francis. Oh boy. The Dow up 229 right now, hanging around. Powell, 15 minutes away from speaking. Twitter up a quarter at 46.97 again, 46.99 now. Cyxtera up 13.73 up 11. Rocket Lab down 35 cents to 8.12. SoFi 680 down 15 cents. GameStop 216 lower at 146.69. The low of the day on GameStop 146.35. We're now at 146.58 falling. AMC 17.24 down a dime. At Matterport 6.46 down 8. 23andMe down 11 cents to 3.40. Spire down 2 pennies. ATIP down 2 pennies. SmartRent down 9. Pfizer is off 44 cents. Hewlett Packard up 8, has turned it around, gone positive. Robinhood still down a dime. Vanik up 228. Home Depot still under, 70 cents under. IBM up 279 to 141.12. Microsoft up 387. Apple up 345. Goldman up 286. Cisco up 76 cents. Amazon down $15. Tesla is up 81. Google up 9. So we got some mixed markets going around here. 234 gain right now on the Dow. Okay. Uncle Bruce, have you been looking at those stocks out there and which are emergent in this new economic structure, anything like that? You're talking about disruptors, I suppose. That would be Cathie Wood stocks. I've been watching out of the corner of my eye. I've been keeping an eye on the Cathie Wood's Innovation Fund. She has about 60 different stocks in there that are disruptor type stocks, one of which is Tesla, I believe. So that should be helping her. Her values. I would think. ARC Innovations today actually is off 61 cents to 55.52, surprisingly. And it opened today at 58.73, but it's now 55.43. Her top holdings in her fund are Tesla, Teladoc Health, Roku, Zoom Video, Coinbase Global, Exact Sciences, Block Inc., Unity Software, Intellia Therapeutics, and Twilio. Those are her top stocks inside this fund, just to name a few. The rest you can always look up anytime you want. Just go to the ARK Innovation ETF, symbol ARKK, if you want to find out the kind of disruptors that she's investing in long term. She'll not be shaken from her conviction of the validity of those companies. More power to her. The Dow now only up 208. We just dropped again. We are 12 minutes away from Powell beginning to speak. S&P is now dropping. It's only up 27. And the NASDAQ is only up 83. We were up over 200 on the NASDAQ today. We're now only up 83 points now on the NASDAQ. We are dropping here across the board. Mr. Happy is about to speak in 12 minutes, and it's not going to be happy times. I don't think so. No, Kathy's just a cheap fortune teller who made her way in an all-green market. Well, I think she's onto something with her future stocks. The problem is that those stocks are so high priced, the market just took them to ridiculous, out of the world valuations. And that's what you get when you invest at these levels. You get pullbacks of significance. She can't hold more than 10% in a position. She must sell Tesla because the rest of the fund is deep red. Even with Tesla pumping, it's not helping much. Interesting. 99 Nation, she's terrible at the future. She invested in Robinhood. Look, she saw what she saw, but you know what she did? I think she bought the stock from its potential of 2 years ago, 3 years ago, not now. And unfortunately, now is not good at all. Alberto, thank you, sir, for this donation. May I have another? Thank you very much, Uncle. On RD, I'm on the road, so I don't have access to PayPal today. Thank you on the covered call on Boeing, your idiot nephew. Thank you, buddy, for the donation. Safe travels out there on the road, and I hope your move today with this donation spurs many others. Copycats, left, right, and center, especially on PayPal. Thank you so much. This helps towards Jennifer and I finding a hotel in London, being able to stay in a little more comfort than in a little box. I appreciate it. Bobby, so something I should remember in the future, don't try up plays when the Fed speaks in the morning. Only in the afternoon. Didn't get my stink on DKNG, but got back in 1 week less, $1 down at 63. Interesting. John, this is where I must leave you guys this morning. I got a big boy meeting in 10 minutes. See you all in the afternoon. You take care, John. We'll catch you later. We're going to watch Powell, and we'll be talking about it, I'm sure, this afternoon when you're back. So you hang in there, my friend. I appreciate you being here. Alberto, I can't thank you enough. Thank you, buddy, for this donation, by being on the road that you are. I do appreciate it. We're at the 219-point gain on the Dow, 26 on the S&P, 72 on NASDAQ. That's where we are right now. We have a little bit of gains here, but they are backing off. These gains are falling. Rocket Lab is now down 40 cents. Cyxtera still up a dime. Twitter up 1 penny. SoFi down 22 to 673. This SoFi share at 673, low of all time right now. 673, all-time low on SoFi. I am just blown away. I'm blown away that people actually sell this stock at its all-time low. They actually willingly put in sell orders at all-time lows. I've never gotten over that through all the years I've been in the business. Buyers at all-time lows almost always make money. Now, sometimes the all-time low is at 8, sometimes at 7, sometimes at 6. But sooner or later, you keep nibbling this stuff, you bring your average down so far that the 50% bounce back from the all-time highs or whatever, and you're in the chips, like you're just luxuriously rich because you have way more shares than you originally had because you've been buying them up cheaper and cheaper and cheaper and getting more of them at these cheaper levels. This stuff goes to $15. So many of you are going to be up so many thousands of dollars. It's just going to be insane. But you got to wait for that day to happen. It is what it is. Can someone duct tape Powell's mouth shut before it goes on? 8 minutes, he'll start talking. Yay, puts, says I'm your doobie. 99 Nation, someone mummy belt SoFi before he speaks. Don't microwave cats. If you miss this all-time low, there will be another one tomorrow, maybe. Maybe. Did Bruce just say buy the dip and hold? Buy the dip, get this stuff, put it away, grab it. What can I say? Rocket Lab down 40, SoFi down 21, GameStop 146.87 down 198. We're pushed the lows of the day. Those were today 146.20 or so. 146.20 is a low of GameStop. 146.87 is where we are right now. AMC 17.20 down 15 cents. That's the first time it's been red. Matterport down 16. ME down 1.5. Spire down 3.5. We got ATIP down 2.5. SmartRent down 16. Pfizer down 33. Hewlett Packard up 12 cents. Robinhood down 18 cents. So we got red, 155 lower on Home Depot. We've got red here. Amazon down 23 right now. That is where we're at. Following this market here, 214 points on the Dow, still positive, with 7 minutes to go before Powell is supposed to start speaking. Oh boy, the Dow might be down 190, only up 194 now. I think we're just dropped 20 points on the Dow. Not 100% sure on that, but I think we have just had a bit of a dip on the Dow again. Let me refresh. Constantly refreshing. Oh my gosh, never a dull moment here. Okay. GameStop 146.70 down 215. I'm going to keep picking up SoFi. These prices, each day that I can pick them up, I'm going to pick them up. 99 Nation, glad I added a sprinkle of salt to my extra dark roast. Not sure if the acidity would be commentary to a knotted stomach. Let's see, Cody. I'm buying them too. I'm buying them. Alberto, average down to 12.80 on SoFi. Keep snatching it up, buying with profits from GameStop covered calls. Cody, watching way behind, but I'm loving the morning rant. I'm sad on the mornings. You don't do this, Bruce. Devil King, SoFi, you are killing me. Stop falling, man. BW, Uncle Bruce, maybe check to see if Faulty Towers has any room available for you and Jed. Maybe at Faulty Towers. Maybe we could stay there. 99 Nation complimentary. Geez, fat fingers. How about that? GameStop 146.75. SoFi 672. The Dow holding 194 to 1 and 217 now. It looks like we're up 217 on the Dow. Got to keep refreshing all my devices here to stay on top of this market. There's just changing all the time. Cyxtera holding a 4-cent gain. Twitter just dropped. It's now down 22 cents. We're 5 minutes away from Powell beginning to talk. Jennifer, my SoFi leaps are looking so good right now. Right on. 146.47 on GameStop. We're 27 cents away from the low of the day again. We're coming down lower on GameStop. AMC 1710 down 24. We're backing off here with more red coming into play now. Microsoft is up 240. It was higher by about $5 earlier. It's given a lot of this back. We're backing up here. Facebook down, Amazon down, Google lower. Okay, Dow 213 gain. Only 213 gain on the Dow. We are 3 minutes away from Powell beginning to speak to the world. What's he going to say? What's he going to say? Oh, my gosh. CDC says face masks are still needed to protect the public. The World Health Organization says that Omicron accounts for 99.5% of global COVID cases right now. Don't mention the war. Kareem, we are not in this economic situation because of all the money printing. Is that it? No, that's not it either. Not it at all. Cyxtera up 4. Rocket Lab down 42. SoFi 674 down 21. GameStop 146.50 right now. AMC 1712 down 22. The Dow is up 198. We're under 200. We are 2 minutes away from Powell with his remarks. We're up 23 on S&P, 53 on NASDAQ. The NASDAQ has really given it up. We've lost 200 points on NASDAQ. It's really come back. The Dow is dropped a couple of hundred, but NASDAQ has really backed off. It was leading the Dow by more than 2 to 1. At one point, NASDAQ was up 2.2 or 2.4%. NASDAQ now up 0.4%. It's really backed up. That's it. Let's see. 146.50 on GameStop. 30 cents away from the low of the day right at the moment. Waiting to see what Powell has to say and how he says it, I suppose. That's the other thing we'll be watching for. They all do. We'll see what's going on. Wall Street Journal headlines. Musk says he has commitments for $46.5 billion to fund the Twitter deal. Mortgage rates continue to rise. Headline. For the 7th straight week, the 30-year fixed mortgage has risen. It's now hitting 5.11%. Bill Ackman's fund loses $400 million on Netflix. Tech wage inflation puts pressure on companies. Many technology workers are commanding compensation increases of 20% or more. Corporate tech chiefs say. Very interesting. Very interesting. Amazon faces new activism from pension funds in New York over worker safety. Funds that own $5 billion in stock urge shareholders to vote against re-election of 2 directors. Interesting. Toshiba puts itself up for auction. The Japanese conglomerate says it hopes to make an initial assessment of bids by June. Okay. Melvin Capital Management to restructure as losses mount. Melvin, which was burned badly in the meme stock rally last year, plans to shrink to $5 billion from $8.7 billion that it managed at the end of March, and is making a raft of changes in the terms of its agreements with investors. Fascinating. Let's see. Buffeted by continuing losses, Gabe Plotkin's Melvin Capital Management plans to shrink and take the unusual step of starting to charge incentive fees again, even though clients remain significantly underwater on their investments. Melvin, which was burned badly in the meme stock rally last year, plans to shrink to $5 billion from $8.7 billion that it managed at the end of March, according to a letter to hedge fund sent to clients Thursday that it was reviewed by the Wall Street Journal. The fund is also making a raft of other changes in terms of agreements. In what is likely to be the most controversial of the moves, Mr. Plotkin plans to abolish Melvin's so-called high watermarks, standard industry features in which hedge fund managers stop collecting hefty performance fees until clients who have suffered investment losses are made whole. Melvin, starting June 1, plans to charge incentive fees ranging from 15 to 25%, down from the previous performance fee of 20 to 30%, before reverting to its original higher fee structure in January 2025. Melvin clients have lost 51.8% of their money from January 2021 through this March, a stark come down for what was previously a top performing fund. Hedge fund managers have been criticized for shutting down while they were under their high water marks, then starting afresh and collecting full fees. More managers in recent years have adopted modified high water marks in which they can collect discounted performance fees until their investors have recouped their losses, but those agreements typically are in place when investors sign on. Much of Melvin's losses came in January 2021 when the firm got swept up in the meme stock rally, which drove shares in companies like GameStop to dizzying heights. Investors banded together on social media to try to inflict losses on Melvin by driving up the stock prices of companies Melvin was betting against. Mr. Plotkin had vowed to soldier on rather than shut down. He and his team told clients last year that they had made numerous changes to improve the hedge fund's risk management, but Melvin still lost 20% in the first quarter of this year as fast-growing companies sold off. Mr. Plotkin, in a letter, called that unacceptable performance. Melvin also plans to a raft of more investor-friendly changes, including reduced management fees for 30 months, giving clients the ability to get their money back in full in 1 year instead of 3, and promises not to launch new products and to keep the fund size smaller. Clients who don't like the new terms can redeem the entirety of their investment under a special waiver, the letter said. In arriving at this revised terms above, we have sought to balance several factors, including investor priorities, ideal future portfolio construction, and team retention and incentives, Mr. Plotkin wrote in the investor letter. We believe that these changes will best position our investors and our firm to generate much stronger net returns over the long run. Some of the changes that were previously reported on CNBC, Melvin's charging of performance fees will also benefit Stephen A. Cohen's Point72 Asset Management and Ken Griffin's Citadel, said people familiar with the matter. By the way, this is not Ryan Cohen or anything like that. Stephen Cohen, no relation. Those two firms invested in Melvin in late January 2021, and as a part of their deals, they got a 3-year share in Melvin's revenue. While both Citadel and Point72 have withdrawn or submitted requests to redeem parts of those investments, the revenue share stands. Mr. Plotkin was a star portfolio manager at Mr. Cohen's prior hedge fund firm SAC Capital Advisors. Investors flocked to Melvin when Mr. Plotkin founded it in 2014, drawn partly by Mr. Cohen's investment in the fund. Mr. Plotkin compiled one of the best track records in the industry and a reputation as a sharp short seller. From 14 through 20, Melvin averaged 30% returns a year after fees that were some of the highest among hedge funds. But Mr. Plotkin's fortunes began to turn last year as Melvin began racking up huge losses in the January meme stock rally. By the end of the month, Melvin had lost 54.5%, or roughly $6.8 billion, a business-ending loss for most hedge funds. He was able to raise billions in new money at full fees later in the year thanks to his record that the view by clients that the meme stock rally couldn't have been predicted. But even investors who had stood by Mr. Plotkin through the last year began to express unhappiness this year as Melvin's losing streak continued. Some criticized Melvin for getting too big and for an effort by Mr. Plotkin to launch a new long-only fund. The investor letter offers what appears to be concessions intended to address some of those unhappiness. Mr. Plotkin and Melvin would consider shutting down the long-only fund by the end of the year. He also wrote the hedge fund size would be capped at $7 billion until June, and then it would to June 2027, and that would return some money to all investors in the fund if it is larger than $7 billion or more than 90 consecutive calendar days. Mr. Plotkin in the letter said Melvin had gotten too large, that its size has reduced its ability to reorient its portfolio quickly in turbulent markets, shrunk the number of stocks it was able to invest in, and limited its ability to profit from successful short wagers. We believe it will be able to again drive higher returns if we have smaller capital base, he wrote to his clients. Anyway, there you go. There's a rough recap of that story. That has been a bloodbath over there for quite some time. And oh my, did they take a hit. We are looking at 180-point gain for the Dow now, backing up again. We're up 23 on S&P. We're only up 60 on NASDAQ. Oil up $1.89. We have Twitter down 11. Cyxtera now down 2. Rocket Lab 43 lower. SoFi down 22 to 673. GameStop 147.05 down 180. AMC at 17.16 down 18 cents. Matterport down 16. ME down a half a penny. Spire down 6 cents. ATIP down 2.5. SmartRent down 16. Pfizer down 28. Hewlett Packard down 13 cents. Robinhood down 24. Vanik Vectors up $1. Home Depot down $2. IBM up $2.40. Microsoft up $2.60. Apple up $3.30. Goldman up $2.40. Cisco up $63. Facebook down $5.50. Amazon down $19. Tesla up $73 to $1,050, but it's backing up. Google up down $1.19. It's gone red. Bed Bath Beyond up 2. BlackBerry down 9. Royal Caribbean down up 140. Target up 240. JP Morgan up only 55 cents. Costco down $1. Walmart down 6 cents. Nvidia down 62. American Airlines up 118 to 2066, but it has backed off from 2142. Near the low of the day right now. Netflix down 13.54 to 212, falling even further. Moderna down $1 right at the moment. The Dow now 194 higher, hanging around as best as it can. We should be hearing from the man himself here at any moment, if not already speaking. Oh, boy. Tons of fun in the OK Corral. 194 gain on the Dow. Okay. What can I say? Such fun here. I just bought $650 worth of SoFi. I can't understand why it's so low, but I'm not going to lose this opportunity to buy at such a cheap price. $674. Why not? Jay Powell is a well-spoken man, very polite and eloquent. He's a person we need to deliver the good news. Okay, they can afford that. It's only a small percentage of their golden parachutes. Gabe Plotkin is one of the finest investors of our time, says Don't Microwave. Okay, we've officially entered the Big Dipper of 2022. Won't anyone think of the children? SoFi is so young. Freethinker, notice the positive sentiment on Plotkin's. The media will never tell you the truth until it can no longer make you any money. Freethinker, GameStop trying to recover again. Pattern teasing, bullish convergence between 50 and 200-minute SMAs. BW Bruce, if you could pick anyone that could run in to the Fed hearing this morning and punch Powell right in the face. Would you like to do that? He speaks and tanks everything. No, I would not like to do that. Let the man say his piece, and we'll deal with the fallout. That's what we're going to have to do. The Dow up 181 now, still backing up a little bit more at the moment. The Dow's up 0.52%, S&P's 0.55, NASDAQ 0.49 roughly. So we're not going very far on these markets at all, and they're all consistently kind of in the same neighborhood. SoFi 674 down 20, GameStop 147.57 down $1.28 a share. Austin, who are we punching? Who are we punching now? Getting everybody all riled up here. Too much fun, kids. Just too much fun today. 147.57 on GameStop right at this point in time. 17.11 on AMC. That is 2 cents away from the low of the day on 9.3 million volume. This is such bad news for AMC. The volume is drying up. The flippers have gone away. The day traders aren't here anymore. They are really backing away from this stock. It is just getting weaker and weaker. The news just is going to be grim. There's just no happiness. They chose not to raise money at $30 a share last month. They had a shot 6 weeks ago. They could have raised money at 30, but they didn't. But then again, they're trying to appease the shareholders who do not want dilution, which means you're going to get lower prices. I mean, it's either going to be dilution, lower prices by dilution, but you survive, or lower prices without dilution because you're not going to survive. You pick your poison, because this company is dropping $400 or $500 million a month of their cash, and this piles up, and interest rates are going higher, not lower. So any refinancing you want to do now is at a higher price than it could have been 90 days ago. That is the problem with AMC. They could have raised another $3-4 billion last year at 2%, 3%, 4%, 5%. Now I bet you they're looking at 8 to 12% interest. These secondary bonds, these junk bonds, are going to be really expensive to issue, and I just don't like the chances of AMC being successful at raising as much as they want. I just don't know. I don't know. 147.50 now on GameStop, down 135 a share. The Dow up 213, holding its own, but there's a lot of red beginning to appear all over my screen right now. There's just a whole bunch of it right now. Oh boy. Thank you again for these thumbs ups. 206 come in from all of you. Thank you. Appreciate you backing up this channel with a bit of a donation like that. The thumbs up hit 206. Keep them coming, guys. I do appreciate it. It helps the momentum of the show. Fabulous. Boy, oh boy, the markets today. U.S. unemployment claims dipped to 184,000 and remain at a half-century low. But remember, you might be counting that as a good thing, but the reality is there's a lot of people not working that aren't counted anymore. They're at home looking after loved ones. They're not in the system any longer. And then there are a pile of people who are not back in the system, but they are working because they're working from home and they're not in this official count anymore. They fell through the cracks because this system is old. And that's what seems to be going on at the moment, okay? Okay. Looking at headlines here on Market Watch. I think we're up to date on all that. Back over here we go. Over there we go. And we're up 209 on the Dow. 148.10, 147.65, 148.10 on GameStop, trying to hang in there. Pardon me. SoFi, $6.74 on 22 million today. The low of the day, $6.71. So we're 3 cents away from the low of all time on 22 million shares today. That stock just keeps coming in. Sooner or later, it'll evaporate out. There'll be none left coming in. And then watch out. We could have a pop. Just saying, we could. Rocket Lab 805, down 41 on a volume of 1.48 million. Very frustrating today on Rocket Lab. Matterport 644 down a dime on a volume of 1.78 million today. ME at 339.5, up a half a penny. The volume 535,000 today. That's the story on ME. Spire 181.5. It's down 5.5 cents. The volume 96,800. We got nothing happening here. ATIP 167 a share, down 2 cents. The low is 164. The volume 269,000 on ATIP. Smart Rent down 17 to 502. This is the low of the day. This still 50 cents away from low of all time. 134,900 volume on Smart Rent today. Pfizer 49.42 down 33. Hewlett Packard down 19 cents to 39.20 a share. There we have it. We have selling there. The Cyxtera is 13.60. It's down 2 cents. It opened this morning with a high of 13.88, new all-time high. Total volume today at 13.60, down 2 cents now. 64,600. Just no volume here. Absolutely nothing. We're waiting for any kind of news about a takeover, a buyout, whatever. It's going to be a merger. We don't know. Twitter now positive again, up 25 cents to 46.97. Positive for several times now. 29.6 million traded, and it's higher. That seems to be the deal. All right. No other buyers other than Musk that we know of, and Musk might be doing a tender offer where he's just going to put out an open invitation to any shareholder to sell them stock at 54.20. That's going to be interesting to see how this works out. Freethinker bullish convergence present on the chart as MACD sees crossover into positive, looks ready to test 149 again. Bradley bought 53 shares of SoFi, bargain average. My average just came down from $16.34 to $16. Well done. Freethinker, nasty wick on top of the 11:13 a.m. candle. We might get beat back here. I don't like those top wicks. That's what Freethinker's thinking. Karim, SoFi price suppression to set up a takeover by a big bank. I don't know about that. SoFi 672. GameStop 147.72 down 113. Low of the day 146.20. There it is. That is our story here, guys. The Dow is up 201. Haven't heard any announcements or any kind of quotation from our man at the Fed. Waiting for that. See if something happens there. Mr. Powell, Jay Powell, waiting for a report. Anything, something quotable. Don't see anything at the moment. Not at the moment. Okay. Okay. All righty. There we are. I'm going to be on again today at 3, as I always am. Thank you, all of you who've been taking classes this past week. You have any questions about those, let me know. Way to go. You're getting wiser all the time. You'll be able to write options here and make some extra money on your account, which is always a good thing. Have your account perform for you while you're holding stock anyway. Why not? Thank you, those of you who have subscribed to this channel and become members of this channel. I do appreciate that so much. Thank you all. We're up 195, 192 on the Dow right now. 192, 195. That's where we're looking. Will this react positively or negatively when we get reports from Mr. Powell? That is the question. 99 Nations saying that I don't think they sell though, but SoFi's competitors are sweating their next quarterly, which should be very positive. Bobby, geez, okay, so I will buy 10 more shares this lunch hour. Splair, have a good break, you all. John Anderson, thanks everybody. You got it. We're down to the last 12 minutes of this show today. Finishing up the first 3 hours of my live with you guys. 1 hour pre-market, 2 hours in the opening. Thank you all for being part of this family and joining in. Love your comments and love your questions and observations that you have out there as well. SoFi 671. I think that's a new low of the day. Yep. It is the low of the day. 22.9 million on SoFi right now. That's the volume. 670. Just saw it hit 670. GameStop 147.13. 147.04. We're backing up again. 80 cents away from the low of the day on GameStop. It's coming back. Steven Jackson's clapping and waving and everything else. Thanks, buddy. Thank you. Dow up 186.178 right now. Watching all kinds of stuff here. Okay. Yeah. Headline in the New York Times, Biden says Putin will never succeed in war. U.S. to send Ukraine more aid. The U.S. will send Ukraine $500 million for government operations, and President Biden announced another $800 million in military aid. And the White House has laid out a program to accept 100,000 Ukrainian refugees into the U.S. Biden's New Deal spent $1.9 trillion on COVID relief. Voters didn't notice. The pandemic aid law unleashed a massive wave of spending on local construction projects and programs. Democrats aren't getting much credit for that. Justice Department appeals to reinstate transportation mask mandate. The CDC called the mandate necessary for the public health, but an appeal risks creating a precedent that could constrain the agency get pandemic updates. I've had it with this guy. GOP leaders privately blasted Trump after January the 6th. Okay. Interesting. Legal marijuana sales begin in New Jersey. Early lines and free donuts. You can now legally buy up to an ounce of marijuana per transaction. All right. Robert Morse passed away. Robert Morse. He was once on Mad Men, apparently. Who was Robert Morse? Oh, yes, Robert Morse. How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying. Died at age 90. What a life. Comedic actor, fabulous. He was the old man in Mad Men. He was the old man in Mad Men. Yeah, he was Bert Cooper in Mad Men. I enjoyed his role very much. Fantastic. Boy, did he leave a lot of great memories behind as a phenomenal actor. Rest in peace, sir. Rest in peace. Oh my. Yeah, the father time doesn't spare anybody. But well, a 90-year lifespan. What a fantastic life. 90 years. We were blessed. He won a Tony Award in 1961. In How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying. And he was Bertram Cooper. And many more roles in between. Fantastic. Robert Morse. All righty. All right. Where are we at now? The Dow is only up 159. We're only up 159. Fed Powell to speak as Fed eyes half-point rate hike coming up. We're waiting. There you go. Coyote 669 filled on SoFi. There you go. 667 right now. I found a critically odd discrepancy with Tesla's earnings. Somehow their operating expenses evaporated a huge operational cost. If I had been there, they've been different numbers entirely. Mallow, 666 on the SoFi. Clay, what? You're telling me a corporation might fudge numbers to make earnings look better? Crazy talk, crazy talk. Mark of the feast. SoFi drops $1 in 2 days on no news. Obama babe. Poor SoFi, just not well liked by the M&Ms. So he still hasn't spoken, laughing out loud. SoFi, 670. Down 25 cents. Low of the day, 666, 24.6 million volume on SoFi. Lows of the day, 171, 174, uptick on the Dow. Twitter up 14, Cyxtera up a nickel. GameStop 146.79. We're down 206 on the session for GameStop. The low of the day, 146.20, and we're in that neighborhood right here. Right here. I got some SoFi at 666 as Aurora. Stink bids now 661, 656, 651. Those are your next stink bid levels. If that stock wants to drop down to that 650 range, get there at 651 and scoop them up there. Steal them. 672 last trade right now. $8 on Rocket Lab, down 45 cents. The Dow up 186. S&P up 24. NASDAQ up 78. Oil only up 78 cents a barrel. I think he's waiting to see how dovish his hike might seem. Let the panic shake loose first. Coyote, after capital gains taxes from last year and this SoFi dip, my wallet is in the ER. That's where it is right now. Down, up 187 on the Dow now as we are watching this market ease off. Waiting to see what's coming out of the Fed chairman's what's he going to talk about? What's he going to say? We don't know. We'll find out soon enough. 146.56 on GameStop, 229 drop on the session here. We are 30-something cents away from the low of the day right now on GameStop. 28 cents away from the low of the day as more stock is coming in for sale. Volume on GameStop now, 590,000. Not a strong buy wave coming in at all. Hopefully you get Dr. Dreamy working on your wallet in the ER, says Bobby. Well, there's best wishes being sent there to Coyote. That's all right. There you go. Okay. Fair enough. 183 gain on the Dow. We've lost 200 points. The high of the day, 35,492. We're 35,347. That's 150, about 150 points off the high. So, we were almost 340 points up on the day. Almost 340 gained. We're now 188. That is where we're at right now. Okay. 676 on SoFi, 146.49 on GameStop. All right. I'm watching 3 devices at the same time to see what's going on with this market. But just tells me, I just get the impression that we're going to weaken. We could have a down day today. Like we could go into the red if the perception from the street, the bond market perceives his comments to be much more hawkish than thought. That wouldn't be good. The 10-year Treasury, 2.91, right near the high of the day. The others are not far behind in their, higher rates as well. And currencies right now, euro is falling back to 108.60 from 109.28. So this is a 6, almost it's a 2/3 of a percentage point drop in the value of the euro, or let's put it this way, 2/3 of a euro drop against the dollar. That is big in one day. That's a lot, and we're noticing that happening. The pound is also dropping off. It got up to almost 131 today, and it's now at 130.52. So there's a half a penny there that's also come back at the moment on these markets. Okay, the Dow now only up 161. That's another tick back again. S&P up 20. That's the low of the day. NASDAQ up 65, near the low of the day for that index as well. The Dow is definitely at the low of the day right now. 161 is the gain on the Dow. And we're looking at negative momentum right now. That's definitely what we're getting here. 146.53 on GameStop with a low of 146.20. We're threatening that low level again. See how this plays out. $146.44. The Dow up 162 now. Another drop. Okay. Headline: Chinese credit card processor reportedly refuses to work with Russian banks. Interesting. Okay, lots to watch there. Coyote, at least I got to 667. I saw that, and my 669 bid filled. 99 nations. I'll put this Elmo suit. I'm going to put on this Elmo suit and meet you all outside of Wall Street. Anybody going to match? Uncle Bruce, should I gobble up another 1,000 SoFi? That would get me to 15,000. Is it easier math than calculating 14,000? I'm dumb. The more the merrier, and the cheaper the better. I say yes. If I say yes, can I come to your top hat party later? Bobby, I do 1,001 just for luck. Lame Duck, how to succeed in the stock market without really trying, starring Uncle Bruce, says Lame Duck. 672 on SoFi, 146.90, 146.48 on GameStop. AMC 1714 down 20. The Dow 159 now. Now only up 154, another 5 points. The Dow keeps losing every couple of minutes, another 5-10 points. Seems to be the pattern here. We're just giving up more and more of the Dow. We've been losing since 10 this morning, just been going down now for an hour and a half. It's just been a steep drop all the way down on the Dow Jones to be up 158 right now. A little rally and then another drop. It's like 3 steps down, 2 up, or 2 down, 1 up, 2 down, 1 up. It's just down, 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 down. 16-point gain on S&P, dropping. 51-point gain on NASDAQ, also dropping. No question about it. There you have it. All right. Well, guys, I'm going to get my little break in right now. Keep your eyes open for Mr. Powell, what he has to say. That will dictate how this market reacts. Do not be surprised if we get some more selling, a little rally here and there, another sell wave, a rally wave. It'll be back and forth, but I'm not too optimistic for a big, fat, juicy green day today. I just don't sense that. I could be made to be wrong on this, but we've had 3 good days in a row here already. We've had the 500-point gain, the 250 gain. Well, now this gain plus 300. To back off 300 points today would not be outrageous. That's still a 450 gain in the last couple of days. But will it happen? We'll find out. We're up 138 now on the Dow as it backs off again a little further on this, this continual nonstop pullback that we seem to be into right now. 146.74 now on GameStop, 50 cents away from the low of the day. It's not taking off from here. It's kind of hanging around. I'm wondering when the back will break on it, and it'll threaten 145. I want to swing from the chandelier there, says 99. I have a good nap there, says Vernon. Thanks, buddy. I'm going to try to get a nap in and try to get a rest in here. And then we'll join you for the final hour today to see how this all sorts itself out. 134 gain on the Dow. We're going nowhere fast. Look at that. Gabe's at 146.50, 146.41. Stocks coming in right now. Sellers are coming in on SoFi. At least it appears to me to be happening. Anyway, guys, there it is. I will see you today at 3 Eastern, okay, for the final hour. Make sure to join me then. Thank you in the meantime for all the thumbs ups, all your support. 217 thumbs ups. Thanks, guys. It's appreciated. And I will catch you this aft at 3 Eastern, okay? Alrighty. Uncle Bruce, I want a big, fat, juicy red bear hug day. What's wrong with that? We literally sell covered calls for a living. I hear you there. I second the motion, says 99. Yeah, it's working its way to you. 140 gain on the Dow and falling. All right, we'll see you later, guys. Thanks. Bye.